Hello. I'm so pale. And I'm Mitchell. I'm joined here by Zach, great friend. You may have known him, creative team builder. We got a great match here for you today. We have a newly entered into the Masters realm of Ethan Lamb. He's coming out here with a Chi-Yu team with Chi-Yu Flutter. But we are facing off against Joey. Joey has got this cool Entei team, and he's a big fan of Entei, so he's really trying to support it with that Chien-Pao, that Rillaboom. He's got a Raging Bolt set that can help just set up, and then Entei's pumping out damage. So cool teams here. Cool teams.
Yeah, Joey is a huge fan of the physical offense, likes that Chien-Pao, and even a bigger fan of that Rapid Strike Urshifu. And this is an interesting set. It's got Terra Ghost with Mystic Water, but it also has U-Turn as well to pivot as well, which can be useful into things like this Ogerpon Wellspring, which of course doesn't care too much about the Surging Strikes, but a U-Turn is pretty hefty damage into it. But that would require the speed advantage to not take a big Wood Hammer from this Ogerpon Wellspring. That's going to be a little harder than it looks against Ethan's team with the Tornadus that can go for Tailwind. There's also, of course, a Landorus that can go for Sandsear Storm, and this Tornadus doesn't actually have the Rain Dance. It has Sunny Day on this team to really buff up the damage of this Choice Specs Chi-Yu.
Yeah,
so Choice Specs Chi-Yu in the sun, that's going to be doing a whole lot of damage.
It also makes sense that it's a single strike Urshifu for Ethan, right? Like, you get a Sunny Day and then hit like a wet, cool noodle into the other team with like a Rapid Strikes. Like, it's not going to work, right?
Yeah, not nearly as effective here. And the Entei, I was going to say, this one has the Citrus Berry. It doesn't have the Assault Vest, which the Rillaboom is carrying that. So Terrifier Assault Vest Rillaboom would be nice to help handle the super powered heat waves coming out of this Choice Specs Chi-Yu potentially in the sun. Also there's a Calm Mind Raging Bolt. We finally have Raging Bolt on stream. We haven't had Raging Bolt this entire time.
True. And it is the crowd favorite Calm Mind leftovers with the Rillaboom.
With grassy terrain. However, Joey has a lot of other options to really amp up the offense on the team, so I wouldn't expect that to be the primary mode that Joey goes for, especially in this very offensive team. It would be really hard to find the room to get up the Calm Minds. So I imagine this is going to be a pretty fast-paced matchup either way, right? Either a bunch of physical offense with priority from Joey's side and Tailwind special moves from Chi-Yu and Landorus and Fluttermane from Ethan.
I wonder if Joey would even be able to get a chance to slow down the pace of the game enough to have Raging Bolt Calm Mind set sweep through the team.
I mean, think so.
You gotta think it might be nice to be able to clap the partner of Chi-Yu with that Beads of Ruin weakening its own partner. I think the only scary part would be what can you do to the Landorus?
Yes, I think the Landorus is going to be a big deal, which is going to probably necessitate Joey bringing that Chien-Pao as well as that Urshifu to help deal with that, to deal with Landorus, because Landorus otherwise is going to do so much damage and just completely checkmate Entei out of the game unless it goes for that Terra Normal, which it might want to do with the Terra Normal Extreme Speed option that it can go for alongside the Chien-Pao, but I think the Ruin Pokemon are probably going to be very important in this particular matchup, as they can do so much damage and really amp up the partners as well. This is, I think, primarily going to be a battle between Chi-Yu and Chien-Pao. Who's going to be the fish or the weasel leopard thing?
Weasel leopard. All right, well, we're getting into game one here. We're seeing, please miss.
Chi-Yu! It's the blue. We can use the shiny blue Chi-Yu.
Oh,
Look, it's beautiful. Look
wow.
Let's just take a moment. That is amazing. Everyone loves shiny Chi-Yu. So glad we
even
get
the
to
game's
feature.
pausing for us.
Yeah, the game's just bask in the glory of this thing. Compared with that Tornadus, so there is the option for Sunny Day plus Heat Wave immediately. The speed booster will be activated on the Fluttermane as well, so there's speed control for Joey on this turn also. And the Rapid Strike Urshifu threatening a lot of damage into that Chi-Yu with a potential Surging Strikes. This Tornadus doesn't have Covert Cloak, doesn't have Rocky Helmet, it has Covert Cloak, which normally a lot of Tornadus like having Rocky Helmet so that it's a little harder for Urshifu to just go for those Surging Strikes without losing half its health. And of course, they don't want to click Close Combat into the Tornadus thanks to that flying typing, so...
This one's going to confirm its supportive capabilities, though, which is kind of like, given that Sunny Day would just neuter an Urshifu Rapid Strike, too. We are seeing the Tailwind, so you got to ask, is this Chi-Yu going to destroy this Fluttermane with an Overheat? And it does. It knocks it out. However, this is a trade. Joey's going to get Chi-Yu for Fluttermane.
Yeah, we'll see if where does Joey actually go for? He just go for these simple surging strikes? Not even 3 hits will be required. A simple 2 will take care of this Chi-Yu.
You think a water type like Chi-Yu right there, you know, being blue would resist?
I have news for you.
Must have been the critical hits.
Yeah, must have been the critical hits. Most fish can shoot fire out of their eyes. That's what my goldfish did when I was a kid. But this isn't the worst thing for Ethan because he gets to keep his speed control around, right? He still has Tailwind for the next 3 turns, whereas Joey doesn't have that booster Flutter Mane anymore to help with the speed, and so this lets Ethan's own booster energy special attack probably Flutter Mane hit the field, but Qianpao is going to make sure that this is a little bit harder to go for because that Focus Sash means you're going to have to hit it twice to stop it from getting a big Ice-type attack into either of these targets, and his special attack booster.
Yeah, precisely. This Urshifu might find it a little bit harder to support its partner here, too, because it's not a Focus Sash variant, and it doesn't have Aqua Jet. It has Mystic Water for its Surging Strikes, but no Aqua Jet, just close combat and U-turn. So, like, I was assuming Flutter Mane would Terra Fairy, that way it's resisting the Dark Sucker Punch of Qianpao, so you really got to be sure you click in the correct one. We are going to see a bit of a Tailwind stall here with a Protect, and is that another Protect on it? Oh, nope, it's a Detect.
Spicy Protect here from Urshifu, which is a great choice here, just saying, all right, well, you have no way of punishing me if I just go for a double Protect, stall out 1 more turn of Tailwind, and that can come up later in the game, but crucially, that is going to require Joey to KO this Tornadus in the meantime, right? It doesn't really help if you stall out 1 turn of Tailwind and Tornadus just sets it up again. That's kind of one of the powers of Tornadus is if you do not KO it before Tailwind is over, it will just click Tailwind again. And then you're in a worse spot than you were last time. And so,
yeah, I think Joey's going to want to make sure he could dodge this Bleak Storm too, because there's no question about it that this Dazzling Gleam brings the Ice Weasel to its sash, right?
Yeah.
And then Bleakwind Storm just picks up the KO.
Yeah.
So we're seeing a good defensive switch, right? That Urshifu could not take that fairy type attack, but Entei could. Seeing the Dazzling Gleam come out here, and it's most certainly bringing Qianpao to its focus sash here. Just a matter of can Bleakwind hit.
Yes, Bleakwind Storm not completely accurate, as an 80% chance to hit either target. And it will be double connecting on this turn, and that means Entei is going to be dropped pretty low, and Qianpao bites the dust here, doesn't even get to get a Sucker Punch off in this game. But Entei will be able to munch on that Citrus Berry, heal up just a little bit to potentially take the follow-up Dazzling Gleam plus Bleakwind Storm. But yeah, at this point, Joey really kind of wishing he had Aqua Jet on this Urshifu. That U-turn is just not helping out in this very offensive matchup here, and he's going to really need Entei to survive this potential double up here, as the Dazzling Gleam plus another Bleakwind Storm just might get there. I think it's going to depend on those damage rolls of how offensive is Tornadus feeling today. Yeah,
and it's just a matter of if he's able to, that's just to have a chance to get back in this game, because Ethan could just as easily set up another Talon. Ooh, and Ethan is reading this Protect on Urshifu with a Moonblast, so that would guarantee that the Bleakwind Storm picks up. If it connects.
If it connects.
We're seeing a hint to Detect, and it's going to hit the Entei.
Does it connect? Yes, it does. So that's Entei down for the count. And now this lone Urshifu, really high and dry, nothing else for it to do on this turn. It does not have any priority moves. Tornadus can just click Tailwind right again as this Tailwind just now peters out. And another Moonblast can come into Flutter Mane's, from this Flutter Mane into the Urshifu. Even with this Ghost Terrestrialization, I think it's a little too late. Joey can maybe get a KO, maybe see what Ethan's last Pokemon is. That's crucial. That's pretty important information, but I don't know how Joey can get through this with just the Urshifu. And yeah, Tornadus can even go for Sunny Day. Even better, no chance of a Surging Strike getting a KO here. That's why Tornadus doesn't need Rocky Helmet. It's got Sunny Day to keep it safe from those Surging Strikes. And that's Urshifu gone. Yeah, it didn't need a super effective Moonblast. Just a regular one would do the trick, and Urshifu is out of here. And that is game 1. Very quick game 1. That was 5 turns? Tail got set up?
Yeah.
For 5 turns.
5 turns.
This format is so much more offensive than Regulation H.
Yeah.
Every time I'm seeing it, I'm like, wow,
crazy.
Everything just does so much damage and goes down so quickly.
Yeah, it really makes you wonder, could a Team Lu Dondozo team actually, survive the onslaught of all this offense?
It kind of, but it's still, I mean, even those teams are predicated on like we will chip things down and then get
For our
Shenpao
offense,
Dragonite
yeah.
into just,
Just
like mow
blow
things
it
down. So like either way, they're trying to take a bunch of KOs very quickly.
Yeah. I wonder how Joey adapts here because that Tailwind is unable to be stopped. And sure, he could knock out the Tornadus, but then like imagine if turn 1, like whatever, regardless of what's on the board, like Chiyu does not go down, but Tornadus does. What if that's just Fluttermane in the back, right?
Yeah, it's like,
now
oh
it's
no,
Chiyu's there.
I have Chiyu, Fluttermane,
Yeah.
and Tailwind. I hate when that happens.
Yeah, like, oh man, Chiyu's at -2. Whatever, like,
I'll
just do another
I'll
overheat.
keep
Yeah.
clicking overheat, buddy. Like, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Joey might feel the desire to bring either the Rillaboom or the Raging Bolt. Rillaboom, the fake out would be very helpful in stopping a potential Terra Fairy Fluttermane from running away with the game. Also prompts a Ghost Terrassization on
With
Chiyu,
Chiyu,
and getting that out is really nice. And the Terra Fairy Rillaboom's pretty good into the likes of Fluttermane and can take hits from Tornadus reasonably well. It does kind of necessitate the Terra, right?
Yeah.
The Terra, a regular grass type Rillaboom with Azalvis, not going to be quite cutting it against, Beads of Ruin boosted Bleakwind Storms and stuff.
Yeah.
Also, I think Raging Bolt could be interesting. 'cause
Yeah.
you can Thunderclap the Tornadus, and then you don't have to worry as much about a Bleakwind Storm in Tailwind. You can just, slap it with a Thunderclap before that.
Yeah. The Fairy typing could prove pretty pivotal, too, because it would be able to, like, maybe turn 1, just protect, click a fake out, just see what's going on with Chiyu and what it locks into, and then you can choose accordingly whether you tear or not. We are seeing the tried and true Tornadus Chiyu, the definition of if it's not broken.
And we have the legendary duo, 3 of the legendary
dog
from Generation 2 from Johto. It's Raging Bolt and Entei against the Chiyu and Tornadus once again. Ethan not seeing a compelling reason to switch up the leads. Didn't even have to show that final Pokemon, so could have even switched up what that fourth and final was in the back based on how Joey wanted to play this, but we do see the adjustment. Raging Bolt is here. Raging Bolt is now threatening a Beads of Ruin boosted Thunderclap. That is the one thing that Chiyu does do. It gives you tremendous offensive power, but it also weakens your opponent in the face of strong special attacks like that Thunderclap, or a Dragon Pulse could even go into that slot, as Landorus will be the switch in, doubly immune to a Thunderclap on the switch, and Chiyu deciding, I'm just going to go for a Snarl, and
that was a lot of damage.
That does so much damage. Doing half to Entei with Snarl is insane. Raging Bolt also doesn't really appreciate that. Now at -1, it's going to be doing significantly less damage.
Yeah, at least we're seeing the Sacred Fire come into what was Tornadus, and it gets the burn, so that's pretty cool. Maybe a couple protects here and there, and then maybe Extreme Speed could pick up a knockout. We are seeing Calm Mind, so sure, it's that neutral special attack, but it could take Chiyu attacks a little bit better. I mean, maybe you do want to click that Terra Fairy because you're staring down a Landorus right now, but I could easily just see it being like attacked and then get some Flame Chip into an Extreme Speed. Right?
Yeah, potentially. There's also that to worry about. But if you do that, then Landorus could potentially set up. Oh, this one doesn't have substitute.
Substitute and then have just like 1 or 2 turns with it.
But Ethan,
I get what you mean.
I wouldn't be shocked if Ethan went for a Snarl plus a Sludge Bomb into this Raging Bolt at this point, seeing like, well, you're very likely going to Terra Fairy this Raging Bolt in the face of Snarl is resisted if you Terra Fairy, and you're no longer weak to that Earth power, and so that feels like the most obvious thing that Joey can do. But I do really like the option of. He probably is considering like protect plus maybe even double protect and then extreme speed to KO that Landorus with that burn chip.
Yeah, I'm not huge on my intake counts, right? So that's where the question really lies. But we are seeing that double protect. It's also like quote like kind of free because like the Ethan like the way he would punish is if he like switch in a Tornadus there. He's like haha, little Tailwind, right? Or a Sunny Day even. We're seeing Bleak. Sandsear Storm as the move of choice. It's not locked in, but Chiyu is still obviously locked into the Storm. I also have to comment, that did a lot to Entei earlier. It did just over half and proc the Citrus Berry, and it did quite a lot to this Raging Bolt too.
Yeah, Choice Specs Chiyu makes Snarl feel like a much stronger move than it actually is, and given that the Entei doesn't have a lot of bulk into it, it might be a little bit more offensive, so this Extreme Speed might be able to get enough damage onto that Landorus.
Yeah, maybe. It really comes down to it, right? Does he even have
Does Entei have it?
Oh,
not quite. And then Sandsear Storm, insult to injury, double connects, double KO. Oh, Entei just not quite having the power it needed to Landorus. So bulky, even despite how much offense it can pull out. And now Chiyu is going to go for another Snarl, but to no avail. Double miss here. Sorry, Chiyu.
Yeah. Well, we're going to see what's in the back at least, right? We didn't get to see any of that with the Pokemon screen.
Yeah, one turn of burn is all the difference it needed to KO that Landorus. If just done a little bit more damage with extreme speed or just a little bit more damage with that Sacred Fire initially. Entei tried its best, but just falling short by the slimmest of margins here. And now Fluttermane comes out into the field alongside the final Pokemon for Joey's side down with that Chien Pao. So,
you know,
not looking great for Joey, but I don't think he's out of it yet.
Yeah, like if you're down to your last two, like this is a two that can pull something out, right?
Yeah.
We got someone that has an Icy Wind, and we got another that has Sucker Punch, right? So there's also this kind of like interesting thing where like Joey could just allow the Chiyu to sit on the field and it clicks Snarl into Chien Pao. Like that's probably fine, right?
Oh,
we're seeing it protect.
Yeah, Chien Pao will be protecting on this turn instead to keep that Focus Sash around potentially as the Tornadus does go for Tailwind as the Chiyu goes for yet another Snarl. That's no surprise here. It is choice locked into that. Joey did at least save Terra, so could have gone for Terra Fairy on this Fluttermane to take that attack a little bit. Oh, sorry, this one's Terra Grass actually, so doesn't quite have that burst damage option. But the +1, or sorry, -1 Moonblast does a sizable chunk to Tornadus. Not enough to pick up the KO, but does the Sucker Punch get there? Yes, it does. Chien Pao doing what Entei couldn't, doing the damage to pick up these Pokemon with important priority attacks. And now Chiyu goes for yet another Snarl. Fluttermane barely hanging on there with just 7 hit points. What does Fluttermane do in response, though?
We're going to see that Moonblast and a -2. Oh my gosh, that is very little damage. Very little damage.
Fluttermane needs some help on the field here, but this other Fluttermane is going to be here to do even more damage. Beads of Ruin is on the field. It has the Booster Energy boosting its special attack stat by a decent amount, and there's still a couple more turns of Tailwind. And this Chien Pao has no Focus Sash anymore, so I think a Dazzling Gleam just ends the game on the spot. And Ethan still has Terra as well. We have not seen the Crystallization from either side here, so
the Terra Stellar would not be able to break through with the Sucker Punch from this Chien Pao. And did you see if the Fluttermane was Booster Speed or Special Attack?
Joey's is Booster Speed, Ethan's is Special Attack.
Okay, I mean, there is a world where, like, maybe Joey is able to double protect both, right? And then his Chien Pao wins the Speed tie versus Fluttermane. Knocks it out with a Icicle Crash, right?
Yeah, or gets the flinch with Icicle Crash. There's still a chance for Joey, but does rely on those double protects. And if I'm Joey, I'm probably thinking, I really should have Terra'd the Raging Bolt on that turn where I was hoping that the Extreme Speed would get the KO. Just sort of hedging your bets a little bit. Like, even if Entei doesn't do it, I take a Snarl and a Sandsear Storm, but I don't get double KO'd because at this point, like, what is Terra gonna do for him? Terra Grass on Fluttermane is useless.
Is Terra Stellar, Chien Pao?
But it doesn't. Oh, it is Stellar, so it could go for but Stellar Sucker Punch.
It doesn't. Yeah,
I think you need the double protect.
There's one. There's one.
Is there another? Does
we hold our hands high?
Can Chien Pao do it? Chien Pao can do it. There's the double.
We have a game. Double in and out, animal style. We are back in Cali, California.
Let's go. Joey gets the double. He protects.
My gosh.
Alrighty. Now what? We got a game. Okay. Can we get a game 3, please? Chiyu goes for Snarl. Everyone knew that. Moving on.
And you know what's really good is Joey has Icy Wind.
Joey does have Icy
Wind. He can guarantee that like there are no games to be played here with the speed ties. But then it's like Ethan could protect his Fluttermane, right? But then Joey could just read that Sacred Sword's Chiyu. There's so many things that can happen.
Still things are still up in the air here, but Joey definitely has options to go ahead and win this game. Terra Stellar.
I mean, you just click it. There's nothing else to do.
Yeah, there's no reason not to, right?
You want to look flashy. You're gonna win in style.
You want to win in style. You want to like do the damage you need to. There's no Ghost would have been pointless in this match in this end game here. So
I will have to say, Joey did exactly what he needed to do in this position, and we are seeing that Terra Stellar come out, and it looks like it's gonna be a protect.
Protect on Fluttermane. What did Chien Pao do? That's so important on this turn. There is the Icy Wind. Icy Wind will connect, or will hit into the protect of the Fluttermane. Does connect onto Chiyu. Was that even damage?
I don't think it even hit. I don't even think it hit.
It lowered the speed. Good for that. But the Icicle Crash is into that protecting slot. So Let's see. Does Snarl KO this Chi or this
Good
Photo
miss.
Mania? It does connect. Oh my goodness, that is so much into
Alright,
Chen
so-
as well still. I think at this point,
Snarl can miss.
Snarl, oh, that's
He
true.
can win the speed tie.
Snarl, if
can
it is a
icicle
speed tie, I
crash.
don't know if it's a speed tie.
Yeah.
I think you just go for the Icicle Crash. Snarl has to miss, then you Sacred Sword.
Okay.
All right.
So that's step one of the plan
Step one,
achieved. Step one of
Icicle
the,
Crash connects. Does this just KO? It does just KO. Okay.
Okay,
Chiyu,
okay.
do you have your glasses on? Let's find out.
it does, but are they?
Or is Chen
are they
Po
the
going
right
to
prescription?
Or is Qianpo going to lose to snarling Chiyu? Oh my gosh! Okay, okay,
My
all right,
goodness.
Okay.
Are you seeing this?
Okay, Sacred Sword.
Oh
that's the
my
game.
goodness.
Let's go, Chien Pao.
Oh
Bam.
my!
There we go. We have a game
man.
3. Finally.
We have
Oh
a game
my
3.
We finally have a game 3.
Joey said, "You know what? I know what my boys need. They need this game 3. Let me pull this one out of the hat very quickly."
Keep talking. He wants that interview. Let's go. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh,
we've got a
yep,
game
that
3.
was-
Finally. I didn't know both
That
of these
was-
numbers could be one. I didn't realize that was
Oh
an
my
option.
gosh,
Oh,
yeah.
That's great. Okay.
So I gotta say, like,
So just do
imagine
that again.
if, but here's the thing, like, Ethan won game 1 because he just kept landing Bleak Wind Storms, right? We're always like, oh, but if he misses,
If
it's
he
a
miss-
really bad, and he didn't miss,
Yeah,
right?
it didn't.
There's a time where like Ethan's team is like hitting really hard with an accurate move. So
Yes.
like that literally
gonna
like came back to
happen.
bite him, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. So
it's gonna happen.
could you even say that was? I mean, Joey did get 2 double protects, and then like.
Dodge to snarl. It's 2 double protect, dodge to
Yeah,
snarl. And,
I don't know how the luck balances out, but he did
Either way,
everything he needed to do,
He
right?
played to the option that would win him the game, and it won him the game. He won
Won
that
the game.
Simple as that.
Crazy
Now,
stuff.
moving forward into game 3, I don't think the plan should be, once again, well, I'll just get a double protect and dodge snarl. And
Yeah.
so, if I am Joey, I'm probably thinking, okay, what I would take from that game if I was Joey was, okay, Raging Bolt can work if I protect it better than I did last time.
Yes.
Right, where on that turn, Entei kind of messed up. Mente didn't do the business. It didn't do what
Right.
it needed to. And Raging Bolt and Entei both, got KO'd as a result of that. And so, if I'm Joey, I'm probably thinking, okay, that game goes a lot better for me if I terrestrialize Raging Bolt into a fairy type on that same turn I click Extreme Speed. Then, even if that bad worst case scenario happens where I don't get that KO,
At least I'm alive.
I still have Raging Bolt. I still have Thunderclap Pressure. I still have the 2 Calm Minds or whatever it may be.
Right.
And he's still got he's still got more
Burn.
resources.
Yeah. All right, we're seeing the leads here. We're seeing the please miss. Oh, we're seeing a double genie lead. If you want to, make your opponent infuriated with options, well, this is certainly one way to do it. We're seeing the Rilla Raging Bolt.
Yeah,
and
Rillaboom brought to the field. So now we've got 2 Pokemon that kind of want to terrestrialize here because Raging Bolt does not love the Earth Power and Saint Storm options, and Rillaboom does not appreciate Sludge Bomb and Bleak Wind Storm. So
on top of this, you can't really the Covert Cloak of Tornadus means it's fake out immune, right?
yes,
Granted, like I could totally also see this just being like a fake out Lando and Calm Mind
Fake out
play
Calm
because like
Mind, yeah.
what Tornadus just has to Bleak Wind Storm and there's a chance that can just miss too.
Yeah.
Right?
Which,
So we're seeing the
Bleak Wind
setup
Storm
here.
has been accurate. Saint Storm has been accurate so far.
Oh,
but
are you? I'm sorry.
Rilla-
One more time. Has it been accurate?
Well, it
looks like it's a
it
little-
was before this exact moment.
Right,
Landorus flinches. Raging Bolt gets a absolutely free Calm Mind. I'm pretty sure it's going to heal off that Bleak Wind Storm damage, basically to full between the leftovers and the Grassy Terrain at the end of this turn. And so, if you're Joey, that's kind of the best turn 1 you could have hoped for.
Yeah.
Tailwind didn't even get set up. Great, good stuff.
Yeah.
Now what?
I think Joey learned from the Las Vegas Regionals, kind of hedged his bets there. He said, you know what, like, really gets hit with this Bleak Wind. Oh well, doesn't even better, right? Now we
Awesome.
got Grassy Glide on the field. We got Pulse. It could also be just set up more, right? There's a lot of different things that can take place here in terms of like, does Joey want to step on the gas pedal right now? On top of it, like, this Tornadus is probably going to start feeling like kind of useless against the Raging Bull if we were to get up more Calm Minds. Even at +1 and being neutral with Terra Fairy, I imagine it not doing that much good.
Yeah, the Bleak Winds are going to bounce off, especially when you consider the Grassy Terrain and leftovers recovery. And Joey learning from his mistake, I think, in game 2, terrestrializes the Raging Bolt to Fairy. does go for a Grassy Glide just to get a little chip on that Landorus. Make sure that Rillaboom does something in this turn. And that's good, because otherwise it would have just gotten KO'd immediately before it got to do anything else. So astute Grassy Glide, great choice from Joey there. And now we get to see Raging Bolt follow up and KO the Landorus with that Dragon Pulse. And it's going to be really hard for Ethan to break through this Calm Mind Raging Bolt, because he's got two physical attackers. Dark Urshifu, which doesn't hit this fairy-type Pokemon at all, and the Wellspring that he has not been bringing.
Yeah.
And so Ethan's going to have, I think, a hard time breaking through this Raging Bolt. At the same time, he can just start attacking everything else and be able to burn through Joey's resources fast enough. So that
is a way to deal with Raging Bolt, I will say. And now we're seeing the two fire types come out. Not the most popular one in Incineroar, but we're seeing Chi-Yu and Entei. So this Chi-Yu, like, when I look at it, it is board position right now. It's kind of in a weird spot. Like, you click Snarl, and Bolt doesn't take a lot of damage. If you click Heat Wave, then Entei doesn't take a lot of damage. You're doing just kind of negligible damage to the one. The moves can miss. It's a little bit weird to find your target here. Chi-Yu does have Dark Pulse, which is pretty cool against Entei, and does have Overheat, which could just, like, decimate Raging Bolt. But, you know, you got to make sure you pick the right move, because you're going to be locked in for the next couple turns.
Yeah, you are going to be locked in, and there's also the pressure that Entei has with Stomping Tantrum. However, I think one thing that Ethan's probably considering is this the time I click Sunny Day?
Ooh, yeah.
Sunny Day and Heat Wave. Suddenly that's not going to be negligible damage, I think, into that Entei. With that choice specs as well, this Chi-Yu is going to be looking to do a whole lot of damage, and Terra Ghost will keep it safe from potential extreme speed in the following
Sunny Day
turn.
powers up Thunderclap, though.
Sunny Day also powers up the Thunderclap.
Could be a double-edged sword. It could be a double-edged sword.
Boosting that special attack with Protosynthesis.
See the clap?
There's a big Thunderclap. Chi-Yu does survive. That is great. There's the Overheat in the sun. Choice specs with the booster energy. Not enough with that Calm Mind still, but Chi-Yu really low. Entei still around. That trade might be worth it for Joey. Used that correct, like, I think it's easy in that position to think, oh, I'll just go for a Dragon Pulse, but I think Thunderclap is a really nice option here. The Sacred Fire connects. Chi-Yu gone, Terra gone for both players. It's a 2v2.
Yeah, the sun is up, and so, sure, that could aid the Flutter Mane in the back, but, I mean, it already has booster energy, right? It's not like it's going to be compounded multipliers, the choice specs. This Entei, though, is definitely looking pretty good with the Sacred Fire.
And the sun.
Yeah, what could miss it? What could just miss or miss a KO on Flutter Mane? It can now just like Oko it. Right?
Yeah, with the sun boosted Sword of Ruin, Sacred Fire.
Oh, Sword of Ruin, of course.
And Sword of Ruin, and crucially, Tornadus does not have Tailwind up yet. So if Joey wants, if Ethan wants to outspeed this, the Qianpao, he has to set up Tailwind this turn and risk just getting KO'd to an Icicle Crash immediately. So I think this is like kind of the opposite situation from last time, where Joey has a little bit more initiative in this situation, and deciding to, knowing Qianpao is the way that he can win this game, going to keep that thing safe this turn, as Flutter Mane also going for a Protect. Let's see what this Tornadus decides to do as well. It will just be a Bleak Wind Storm, so no Tailwind quite yet, looking to potentially
break the sash,
then set up Tailwind. So really astute Protect from Joey. Entei takes that well enough.
Ooh, the big read.
Yes. Oh, that's so much damage. The Sun Boost and the Sword of Ruin. That's Tornadus gone. And now, barring accuracy, which obviously we can't, that is a big if.
Yeah, I like clicking Sucker Punch.
Sucker Punch is good. Two Sucker Punches should get the Flutter Mane.
Takes two to tango.
Takes two to tango, takes two Sucker Punches. That should be, there you go. There's a Dazzling Gleam, brings Qianpao down to that Focus Sash. Entei didn't even notice that. Good job, Entei. Ready. Here is the Sacred Fire.
Oh, it's going to be so sacred.
Or was it Stomping Tantrum? No, it was just Sacred Fire. Will connect. And that is Joey taking the game. We have a game 3, clawing it back from the depths, playing the way he needed to, and getting rewarded. Wonderful stuff. And using the priority moves really, really well. I think in games 1 and 2, not quite getting as much value, but I think in game 3, it really was Joey recognizing when was the right time to click a priority move. All the priority moves he clicked were the perfect choice for that turn.
Yeah.
Right? The Grassy Glide, ensuring that the Landers would get down. The Thunderclap, preempting the Sunny Day to get big damage on the Chi-Yu, and that Sucker Punch to lock up that end game. Yeah. Almost, right? There's still Sucker Punch mind games if Sacred Fire misses and Flutter Mane can KO it later. Like, there's still some awkwardness there, but Sucker Punch is the highest odds of winning that game. And so I think Joey, really figured out a way to navigate around Ethan's team, and that was finding how to use those priority moves, because this team is faster with Tailwind, but if it's priority moves, who cares about Tailwind?
Yeah, exactly. You know, when I look at this on paper, I feel like the matchup might be a little bit more in Ethan's favor because of that speed and that power, right?
The Chi is so threatening.
Yeah, especially with the Terra Ghost and then another Ghost type in the back. It's hard to justify braining Rilla just to fake out everything, right? But I like Rilla's application in Game 3, how it was able to set the board for this Rage.
Yeah, I think it was really nice. Great fake out. Yeah, but also the fake out turn 1 was a perfect use of priority as well. I think, Joey just got a lot of value out of all of the pieces that he brought to that game.
Correct.
And got enough value out of it. I think he realized that correctly that in Game 1, Urshifu was very bad in that situation. And so
he
I
didn't
think
really pull through at all.
correctly adjusted to that, and also realized Fluttermane wasn't as helpful, given that Tailwind just kind of invalidates the booster speed variant. So I think great adaptations from Joey, right? Played those outs in Game 2, got rewarded, and then I think played a great Game 3.
But you know who I think knows best? Joey himself.
Yes.
Perhaps we could get Joey for an interview.
Yes, let's do that.
But he has to stand right here for a moment
Cut
and
to
just
a quick
hold on
break,
for
and
a
we'll be
quick
back
moment.
with someone whose voice you have not heard today, Joey.
Hi, everyone. I am Mitchell. I've been commentating. I'm here with Joey Ochella. Joey,
Hey.
It's nice to be here with you, dude.
It's nice, man. It's nice to be in front of a camera again.
Yeah,
It's nice to be on stream again. It's been a while.
it's been a while.
It's been a while.
Well, that was a fun set, right?
Oh, yeah.
That first game that you had, I noticed you brought Urshifu, and it didn't really pan out, huh?
Yeah.
What were you
No.
thinking of bringing Urshifu in the first game?
So with this team, I actually played a version of it in 2023 Charlotte Regionals, where I went 5-1, but obviously it wasn't polished. And then I saw Zhe Zhang post a similar team, or have a similar team that did really well in Charlotte. So therefore, I was like, okay, maybe this is good for the regulation F2. So Urshifu is just a really good mon. Like, I'm pretty sure everybody can either love or hate Urshifu for how good it is.
The set was very unique too, with U-turn on it.
Oh yeah. So the reason why I have U-turn on it, because I have Grassy Glide, Thunderclap, Sucker Punch, and E-Speed.
Right.
So I was like, do I really need Aqua Jet? And I kind of need it in order to have. The idea behind it is Icy Wind and U-turn out. In bad situations, especially, obviously, my opponent had Water
Ogre
Pond,
Pond,
Wellspring, yeah. So it's good damage into grass types, and so that's kind of my cook, so to speak. But we'll see if it stays. I like it personally. I like it. The sets in which I had, today's cup is really more, all right, let's experiment with these teams or with this team, see what can stay, see what can go, and then let's see how far off we can go. But the idea behind Urshifu is if you look at his team, right? He has Chi-Yu, he has Lando, he has Fluttermane, and he has Tornadus, all of which are really soft into Surging Strikes. But obviously I have to hedge on a bunch of things. It's just, okay, I show Urshifu, what kind of game plan is my opponent going to go with? And will they make a mistake of going too aggressively to try and get rid of something like Urshifu that does really run to their team, which obviously didn't work out.
Yeah, it was kind of, it looked like a good trade there because you had knocked out the Chi-Yu, but then Fluttermane just came in and it's like, oh, like Tailwind's it's this tough thing to sell, right?
Yeah.
So I like how you switched up game 2 and especially game 3. Game 2, like it seemed like you knew everything you needed to do, and you know, Ethan's got a lot of inaccurate moves, so at some point you're likely to get bailed out, right? But you did everything, even the double protects, right?
Yeah. I mean, you know, Vegas just happened, so I guess I'm still hot from Vegas.
I was thinking about that, right? You knew when to put your chips all in. Yeah.
No, man. It was interesting because when I saw that his game plan didn't have much to do with Lando, I just thought, okay, so then I don't have to really rely on Urshifu. I can rely on Raging Bolt.
Yeah.
And then obviously game 2 went the way it did. I feel bad. I feel sorry. I mean, you know,
you got to do what you got to do.
It's the game. It's the game, right? And I played to my outs. I figured, all right, if I go double protect on both and get a double protect, it is what it is. Like, if I don't get it, I lose, then I lose. Okay, I accept. But unless I hit both, and I did. And
all the odds came through in your favor.
Yeah, and you know, it was still close, right? Because even I misplayed. I was just telling my opponent that I misplayed that last bit as well because I should have attacked the Chi-Yu.
Yeah, it's tough to say though. If he doesn't attack, or if he attacks with Fluttermane, he just gets rid of it. Oh,
no,
wait,
it would be
1v1.
Yeah, I'm Sash.
Oh,
I started Sash.
Okay, yeah, I can see
so
that.
That's where
it's a learning lesson.
Right. Where the end games, because the funny thing about this team that I noticed from just playing a handful of best of ones, this is literally my first best of 3 practice with it. Is there's a lot of end games that get a little funky, but you know where you want to go, like. The way you lead will set the way, which seems so obvious, but obviously sometimes it's not that way because it's a very adaptive game. The way in which you lead can set the path to your end game so well, where you could either be sniping things with Entei or sniping things with Chien-Pao, which shout out Chris Vroom. He's the one that was telling me to do that. He's like, why don't you play Pal like you're trying to snipe things? I was like, oh, okay, I didn't think about that.
I hear you. I got a couple of personal questions for you before one final one. But here's a couple of questions I have for you, okay?
Sure.
Can you tell me what your original Twitter username was when you signed up? Because you had switched in 2019.
My original Twitter username?
Yeah, like I was stalking your Twitter profile a little bit. I saw that.
Oh, I don't know. In 2019?
Yeah, it said you changed at one point. And I was like, Joey Tsunami seems like such a big part of your character. What could it have possibly been otherwise? You know?
I don't know what it was. I swear to you.
That's what I'd say too if I did know, but I didn't want to share it.
I actually don't know.
Okay, well that's fine. I got a different question for you. Okay, this one's kind of like a fun one. I have a lot of like words. I'm just gonna throw at you.
Oh my god.
You're gonna say the first Pokemon that comes to mind. Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
Sounds good.
So I'll say a word or a phrase, and you just say the first Pokemon that comes to mind. All right.
Okay.
Okay. First word. Banana split.
Goldengo.
Okay. Guillotine.
Oh, King Gambit.
Twister.
Tornadus.
DLR.
I don't know. What's DLR mean?
De La Riva.
Oh, De La Riva. Oh, ooh. Superior.
Okay. K-Lock.
K-Lock. That would be Keylock, Kimura Lock. Oh, bro, Urshifu. Darker Urshifu. Easy.
Okay. Last one. Donkey Guard.
Ooh. That's a good one. Okay, see, here's the funny thing. In Jiu-Jitsu, Donkey Guard is really useless, but also really awkward. Smear goal.
I hear you. And last question is, did you have any final shout-outs?
Oh, dude. Right here. No words need to be said right here. No words need to be said. But shout out to my boy Rashiel, too, because
I saw the usernames.
Yeah. He's my Raging Bull. Because, like I said, I used this during Charlotte 2020 regionals. And the entire team's like nickname theme was the power of friendship. So it was a lot of my friends that I made through VGC. That might come back around because I'm trying to make another team where, you know, a couple of the guys will have their. You might be in it. I don't know yet. We'll see.
I hit you
All
with
right.
this heart. All right.
dude.
Well, thanks for being on, Joey.
Oh,
that was
dude.
very fun.
Love that.
Very exciting. Very Vegas-esque, right?
Oh,
like,
man, it was very VGC-esque. Like,
yeah.
I mean,
What more can you say
What
other
more
than
can
like
you
you gotta
ask,
do what you
right?
gotta do? So
for a Chi to miss and you get double protects.
so don't go anywhere. We're about to start round 4. Thank you. So then I said, what'll it be? Mustard or ketchup?
What's the punchline?
Oh, hey, we are back for round 5 here of Swiss. I'm Mitchell. This is Zach Ermer. We are here today to witness a battle between Michael Wan and a player that we haven't seen much of, Rodolfo Olmos.
Yeah.
Forgive me for pronunciations, but we're seeing Rodolfo has a team of Ogrepon Hearthblade, Tornades, Iron Crown, Fluttermane, and DD and Urshifu. So we got a little bit of that size spam Tailwind kind of team. No, not really a trick room mode like Griffins that we saw in the previous round.
Yeah.
And we're seeing Michael Wan here with a more balanced team. We see Incid, Amoonguss, Urshifu, Rapid Strike, Fluttermane, Tornadus, and Landorus. So we got a double genie combo backed up with a defensive backing of Incid and Amoonguss. What are you feeling?
Yeah,
Zach?
with those offensive pieces of that Choice Scarf Urshifu and the Fluttermane, this is, if you're familiar with Regulation F or Wolf Gleck, this is the Orlando team, the team he used to win the Orlando Regional Championships back the last North American Regional in Regulation F a couple years ago. At this point, it's so long. But yeah, it's a really stable team. There's a lot of options. There's that Rain Dance on that Focus Sash Tornadus, which can give the Choice Scarf Urshifu a lot of power immediately and can allow for a setup Tailwind later on for this booster special attack Fluttermane. Michael, a player that tends to run some more standard teams, but also, does different things as well. But this time, kind of just getting into the format, practicing something a little bit more tried and tested. And this team is definitely one of those. There's just so many options that this team has. You have the slow, bulky pivots of Incineroar and Amoonguss, strong offense between Fluttermane and Urshifu, and of course Landorus, very strong offense as well. However, if I remember correctly, this team has a very awkward Psy Spam matchup. There's a single Psychic Resist on the team, and that is Incineroar, and there's no way to change that terrain. So I think Rodolfo's pretty happy to have this particular matchup because it is really awkward to play against. You have to play very particularly if you are Michael, and so Rodolfo, I think, has the ball in his court. He's just got so much offense. That Psy Spam is going to be really hard to deal with, especially alongside Urshifu and Fluttermane, which he's going to be leading with that immediately. But Michael also going to be putting his foot on the gas with the Tornadus and Urshifu lead of his own.
Yeah,
for Urshifu or Choice Scarf.
Okay. So if he sets up Rain Dance, then that could prove fatal for Michael as well. See if there's an Incin and a Fluttermane in the back, that might not be what you want to do right off the bat, right? Perhaps Michael could opt for Terra Water if he wants to knock up this Fluttermane and not click Rain Dance. You could Tailwind at that point too. But you have to wonder what's in the back, right? Michael was probably scared of that Psy Spam being in the back, which is why Incin is packed back there. Fluttermane has the booster energy, so I'm not sure. Do you remember if it's speed or special attack?
Michael's a special attack, and Rodolfo's is choice spec, so whatever it does, it's going to be locked into that. So there's a lot of offensive pressure. I would be shocked if something does not go down on this turn 1, and Terra is only going to be boosting the offense of these Pokemon. They're all offensive Terras, except for that Tornadus, of course. But that's going to be Terra Water committed onto the Urshifu. But which one does go for that Terra Water? It will be Michael's here, so looking for just all the damage in the world. Choice Scarf, Terra Water, Rain Dance, Surging Strikes, you got to assume. Where's it going to go? First off, we're going to see Rodolfo's move first, potentially a speed tie. These Choice Scarf Urshifu often land around the exact same speed stat. And that is Tornadus. That's its only the only move it gets to go for this turn is that Tailwind. It is down for the count. Focus Ash does not matter.
Or the Rain Dance. But,
Rain Dance.
What's kind of worrisome here is, sure, Michael could get the KO on the opposing Fluttermane here, but, like, what if Rodolfo brings in his Tornadus? Now, Michael has set up Rain Dance, and Rodolfo can just click Tail. You know what I mean? But if he does have Tornadus in the back, that means he doesn't have Psy Spam. So perhaps Michael is kind of hedging his bets here, right?
Yeah, expecting Tornado, or expecting Iron Crown.
I mean, if
and
Tornadus comes in here, too, I don't see what you do, really, right? But you have to wonder what the switching is for Michael. If he brings an Incin and DD comes down, that's a Incin that just goes right back to the bench, right? It just faints to the Surging Strikes.
And with Terra committed, there's no option to, Terra Grass, as we can see here, or Incineroar has that Terra Grass that it could use, but not going to be very appealing, or can't go for that when there is the Terra already committed onto that Urshifu.
Right.
So I think Michael realizing, all right, the way I can get through this is you're just trading Surging Strikes for Surging Strikes. Right, Rodolfo can get Tailwind up, but he can't do that and Psy Spam at the same time. So I think we're just going to see Urshifu just mowing down the opposing side with Surging Strikes
Yeah.
next to them. So
I mean, I would be a little bit worried if like the last Pokemon was something like Ogerpon Hearthflame, right? Because like what he fakes out Urshifu here, Tornadus goes down to the Surging Strikes, and then Ogerpon Hearthflame comes in and can do full grasping Horn Leech.
Horn Leech.
Oh, okay,
Urshifu can take that well enough.
Urshifu could, yeah, all
And
right.
actually,
all right.
yeah, unless Tailwind needs to come up here, otherwise, then Surging Strikes will just KO that Ogerpon before it even gets to move, right? Even doesn't matter that it's the grass type, it's a fire type, and the rain's up, so, and Terra Water is going to be doing so much damage. The Fake Out kind of forced into that Urshifu, and Tailwind kind of forced from this Tornado, so, man, this is going to be such a fast-paced game. We're going to be seeing so many knockouts so quickly. Here's another one I would imagine. There's a Surging Strikes. Actually, into the Urshifu.
Okay.
Okay, so...
That is an option. That is an option.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd like that option.
It is an option, but now... What? Well, Bleak Windstorm is certainly the move
Of choice.
right? Tornadus has no reason to do anything else, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no reason to do anything else. And
So-
Incineroar is... I mean, he could sack Fluttermane and get another Fake Out later with Incineroar. I think that's maybe worthwhile. But we know what Urshifu is doing, and it's going to be clicking Surging Strikes, and one of these Pokemon is going down. In fact, Rodolfo could even go for Surging Strikes plus Bleak Windstorm into Michael's own Urshifu and potentially get that knockout as well, depending on the investment in the Bleak Windstorm. So certainly a lot of volatility. This is such an offensive game. Here's another Terra. Here's more. We wanted more damage. Here's more damage.
Yeah.
Terra Water Urshifu.
So that does mean that like if Incin is going for like a knockoff into the opposing Urshifu, it could take the knockout, but looks like, oh my gosh, it was all in the critical hit. It's just entirely critical hit. If not for those two crits, I think Incin could have lived. Right. Incin goes down there, unfortunately, but we're gonna see where this Urshifu picks up the ball.
How much does the single target Bleak Windstorm do?
Decent amount.
Decent
Enough that makes me like think that it could survive the next turn. But a speed drop. Rodolfo has tail.
Rodolfo, yeah, it's probably like, and this game is certainly not going to last long enough for Tailwind to not be up.
Yes.
Every turn something has been knocked out almost. Yeah, the last turn nothing got knocked out, but this turn you got 2 to compensate. So 3 turns, 2 knockouts, 4 knockouts already, and it is down to a 2v2. Michael's Fluttermane in the back and Rodolfo's mystery Pokemon that we'll be seeing shortly.
Yeah, this is honestly a bit of a precarious situation. The Ogerpon comes in, which is like, it's kind of nice, right? Because like that just means that this Fluttermane is not going to just get like mowed down by the Ogerpon immediately because the rain's up. But like,
rain is. I think there's only 2 more turns of rain, right? Because it was set up on turn 1. So
yeah, but I don't see a way you can Oko both. Right? You cannot remove the. You have to have Urshifu do the work, but Urshifu is certainly going down. And then that means Fluttermane is that versus the world, and then Fluttermane has to take out both Mons. Like, this is kind of a lot to ask for, I think, for Fluttermane. It makes you question how would the game have turned out if maybe Rain Dance wasn't clicked, or even if like the Urshifu on Michael's side had knocked out the Tornadus a turn soon. Right?
Yeah, I think potentially getting that Tornadus down a turn earlier would have been pretty useful. But, man, not quite the war we've seen. The Bleak Windstorm doesn't quite KO Urshifu, though. That's pretty good, but the Horn Leech does anyway. So not, hype for nothing, but that is Urshifu down. And now it is just this Fluttermane all on its own to try to combat these 2 full health Pokemon after the Bleak Windstorm damage. Here's the booster special attack Moonblast into Tornadus. Not quite enough useful information to know just how bulky that Fluttermane is. 1 more turn of rain here before Ivy Cudgel is fully powerful, but...
Michael would get hit by Bleak Windstorm as well. So, like, if he stalled out that last turn, then it's just, like, Tailwind and then Ivy Cudgel.
Yeah, so...
I was thinking of this other play that Michael could have done. The turn that he chose to fake out the Urshifu, I was thinking that he could have sacked his Incin. He could have sacked his Fluttermane. So he brings in Incin, he threatens to fake out, but then he switches right back out for Fluttermane. He allows Fluttermane. Michael gives up his Fluttermane.
Yeah.
But then that means Urshifu takes out Tornadus. And then Michael has a full health Incin and full health Urshifu, and Fake Out's live on the board, and it's staring down Rodolfo's Urshifu and Ogerpon, right? And then that's just a Fake Out, and then, yep, exactly. Like, I was thinking that was the play of choice.
Yeah, this is very much like, there's largely two different styles of gameplay. There's the Raging Bolt Calm Mind games where you're switching in Rillaboom and protecting and then faking out and Calm Minding, like those games where you're just cycling things in and out. This is very much not that, right? There's going to be like one switch manually at most in the entire game.
Yeah,
right? There's just like
too fast-paced.
It is just where do the chips fall?
Metal to the metal.
Right?
Yes,
and in this sort of game, it is very crucial to recognize, like as you were saying, when Michael can actually do one switch to completely change the board state. And I think in that situation, sacking the Flutter Mane to get another turn of fake out is so valuable when like the game only lasted 5 turns.
Yeah, let's nullify like half of one of the turns,
and Urshifu is doing most of the damage, most of them. So if you can get 2 fake outs into Urshifu, like that is insane value.
Yeah. So I'd seen that. I didn't say it much because I just didn't see how Fluttermane was going to combat. Like, sure, Fluttermane would be really good against the Indeedee Crown. I think like it'd be okay, but it's certainly not okay to a tailwinded team that's boosted by the rain. It has Ogerpon in the back, right?
Yeah, this Scarf Urshifu is so scary. I think one thing Michael does get out of this is he noticed that, Shirley noticed that Rodolfo did not bring the Indeedee or the Iron Crown, which means if that is not the case, then the Amoonguss has a little bit more play in this potential matchup, where it's still awkward because you have to worry about the Bleakwind Storms from Tornadus, especially if Rain Dance is getting set up,
Ogerpon.
and you have to worry about Ogerpon as well. However, having some defensive option against the utterly suffocating Surging Strikes in the rain is extremely valuable, enough where it might justify it in the face of those significant obstacles. But of course, Rodolfo was aware that that might be an adjustment. Brings the Iron Crown this time, and looking pretty nice in the face of that Urshifu, which also is weak to those psychic type attacks.
Well, Michael does have this option of clicking Rain Dance and then Surging Strikes, but then we might be in the game 1 scenario again, where like Michael sets up the rain to take a knockout and preserve himself, but not for the long game, just for the short game. Rodolfo might lose his Iron Crown, but then sure, Tornadus comes in and just tailwinds. Top of the Iron Crown could just Terra Water here.
Yeah,
I have no idea how the damage calcs are going to add up if you like Terra Urshifu and then Rain Dance as well and launch that into a Terra Water Iron Crown. But I doubt that it would. Yeah, I doubt that it would.
Iron Crown probably still survives.
I doubt it would faint to that.
Yeah, Iron Crown probably still survives. There's also the case where, Michael's really banking a lot of damage on this Urshifu. He needs to do a lot of work with it. And if he goes for Surging Strikes into that Iron Crown, and Iron Crown Terra Waters, and Iron Crown and Urshifu just double into his own Urshifu with either a close combat or an expanding force and just KOs the Urshifu, that is so much damage lost. And I don't know how Michael can combat that. And so Rodolfo does go for the Terra Water here, recognizing how much, weight that Michael has to place onto that Urshifu. And you do see it is a speed tie, so these Urshifu do have the exact same speed stat. Michael's went second last time, went first this time, crucially gets the U-turn off, can get that Urshifu out safely, potentially has to figure out, well, what am I going to... Who's going to switch in and take a potential Surging Strikes? Is Amoonguss more important?
Just a single target expanding force.
Yeah,
which would be
expanding
crazy,
force. And so, neither of these Pokemon are great to switch in because they could either go down, either Incineroar or the Amoonguss here. And Michael deciding Incineroar the better choice in this particular situation. And the Urshifu are a lot more timid in this game, both just deciding to go for a U-turn.
Playing peekaboo, perhaps.
Yeah, just a little bit. I think Rodolfo gets the better end of this speed tie as well because he gets to know what Michael switched into and gets to see what that was.
Yeah, just fair game for Indeedee.
And now, Indeedee comes in. Cool. That fake out pressure you had next turn was going to be great, but now you don't have that anymore. And Iron Crown can now also just go for a Terra Water next turn.
Ooh, I do like that play.
Ooh, very nice damage. Double connect is very important. Gets a lot to Iron Crown. Bring it pretty low. And here's the expanding force. That's so much damage into this tornado.
That's a cool play as well, right? The U-turn, making sure that you get Psychic Terrain on the board and just hit anything, regardless, right? Tornadus was saved by his Focus Sash, and that's probably the item you'd want in this matchup when you get hit by something that strong. I guess that means that the Bleakwind Storms are that strong, too. That was good, meaningful damage. On top of it, Tornadus outsped. So the question is, are you gonna try to Bleakwind again? Or are you going to maybe just Tailwind and hope that Instant can do something before, before maybe even getting Terra Watered or something? It depends on if Michael wants to have Instant outspeed the board, right?
Yeah, if it even can, right? We don't know
if it even can.
how quick this Iron Crown is.
We can calculate that.
This one does have booster energy, or does it does have booster energy. So I don't even know if knockoff without the item is quite enough. And there's also the follow me to worry about as well. So
Yeah. It would go into a rocky helmet, but I guess that's all right. Oh, we see the Bleakwood Storm.
not quite enough on Iron Crown though. That's still really, really good damage.
Oh.
The speed drop.
Speed drop.
You never mind that much.
Yeah.
As the Terra Water Terra Blast does come out, this should be enough to pick up the. Ooh.
Oh, okay. We are being
too
surprised by
soon.
everything's. Oh wait, but the rocky helmet.
The Rocky Helmet
All right.
will pick up
An
the
eye for
KO.
an eye.
Pick up the KO.
Crit for the crits last game. I don't know.
Yeah.
But we're seeing that there's kind of like a weird momentum shift, right? Because the speed drop doesn't matter too much for this crown, but now it is like next to useless. This opposing Urshifu is a little bit scary though.
Oh,
does it
but-
have Aqua Jet? It does. It's got
Yes,
Choice Scarf
it does,
Aqua Jet.
but I think Amoongus has now opened up in viability significantly by Iron Crown being that threatened here. But Tornadus is
Yes.
also here to threaten back. So
much.
this is so tense and awkward for both these players. Urshifu is so important for both of them, and I think it's like the only damage source that Michael really has at this point. And so he can go for the Surging Strikes into Iron Crown, checkmate that slot alongside a Tailwind of his own, but probably has to Terrastalize to not just take so much damage to a Bleakwind Storm and potentially get KO'd. So
It's not the worst thing. I mean, think about it this way. Like, he's Surging Strikes the crown here. He could match Tailwind. Say, like,
Yeah.
the opposing Tornadus goes for Bleakwind Storm. The next turn, like Tornadus goes down. To survive, Rodolfo's Tornadus might have to... well, do you think that his Tornadus... It's been on the bulkier side. I noticed that the
certainly
items
bulkier.
would it faint to the Terra Water Surging Strikes from Michael's
that's
Urshifu?
a great question. Rodolfo, very smartly recognizing how important Iron Crown still can be in this situation, decides Urshifu can take this very likely Surging Strikes here. Michael, forced into this Tailwind, does decide to not try to play a little bit risky here. Both Tornadoes trading Tailwinds here, so when both players have Tailwind, no one has Tailwind. As, a nice U-turn here, realizing that he didn't need to lock into Surging Strike, so gets another U-turn, little bit of chip onto Rodolfo's Urshifu. And here is going to be the Pokemon that I think Michael's going to need to win this game, and that is the Amoongus. Amoongus plus Scarf Urshifu might be enough to close out this game, but has to get that Urshifu back out on the board. This Tornado is really not helping anymore. This is now a pretty kind of awkward position for Michael.
Well, Michael's Tornadus is faster.
Yeah.
Sure, it could get Aqua Jetted, but that might be okay. The thing is that Michael's Amoongus is currently safe from being taunted by the opposing Tornadus, and Terra Water is so applicable in this match, right? Like, or in this board state, so he can spore.
Terra Water.
Honestly, like, I thought that Michael could have kept Urshifu on the field more and threatened more damage, right? But I totally see this endgame is probably a little bit more viable here, because now he's locked himself up to a position where, like, he's guaranteed to click Spore or Rage Powder, whatever it may be. And right now, we're just going to see the turn unfold. It is going to be the Rage Powder, so if Rodolfo is going for Aqua Jet, well, too bad. We're seeing the close combat, though, correctly, oh my gosh, into the Terra. So he knew, he read. However, this makes it weak now to Bleakwind Storm. So what could have been a survival is now going. Okay. He's just eating it.
Yeah, there's.
I see Amoongus is just like not moving. Right?
That's
a little hat. I was getting a little weird.
Storm. That's a really big Bleakwind Storm connect. Getting rid of the Urshifu. That's the most important Pokemon on this side, on Rodolfo's side. And now, I think Scarf Urshifu just clicks Surging Strikes twice and the game's over.
Uh-oh.
And there's a miss with Bleakwind Storm. Bleakwind Storm giveth and taketh away. Amoongus would have taken that attack well enough, but now certainly in range to survive a Surging Strikes. So I think Michael has a very clean way of ending this game, which is just Rage Powder, Surging Strikes, Iron Crown, or no, Bleakwind
just Spore.
This is still awkward. I forgot.
Really?
I thought he.
No, Urshifu's, they're both match Tailwind.
Yeah,
Scarf.
but
he just outspeeds Crown, and then he just spores Tornadus.
But what if What if Tornadoes Bleakwind Storms and like speed drops Urshifu, crits Urshifu?
Well, that's why you spore.
Oh yeah, I guess you could. Yeah, I guess. Okay. Yeah, yeah. You don't need to go for Rage Powder on this turn.
Yeah, I'm not tripping, right? Yeah, you just strike and you just spore. It's all right. So. Like when we're not playing the game and we can't just like look at our notes, like it gets a little bit funky, right?
Yeah. I think. Michael. I think piecing together, okay, how do I actually
There we are.
make
Boom.
sure I don't take defeat from the jaws of victory here.
I mean, granted, if Rodolfo does critical hit this Urshifu, then we're in it might be a little tight.
then we're in an
I'm not
awkward
sure of the
spot.
damage calc, right? This is definitely a bulkier Tornadus on Rodolfo's side.
Yeah, let's see here what this Tornado does. There's the Bleak Wind, does double connect. Ooh, so much damage into the Urshifu, but not quite enough. Does get the speed drop, which is nice, but as you astutely pointed out, Mitchell, the Spore covering that perfectly, and so this will give Urshifu the one turn it needs to lock up this game. Thankfully, this Tornadus does not have Rocky Helmet. It does have Covert Cloak, and so this Surging Strikes will certainly clean up the game. And Amoonguss can also chip in if it needs to with a nice little Sludge Bomb here, and that will be game 2, I think, going into Michael's favor, and we get yet another game 3.
Yeah, that was man, that was one of the most like chess matches that we've had today. That might have been, right?
Yeah, that was a really, really like very different. I said, after game 1 that these teams they can't switch a whole lot, but both players proved me wrong very quickly in that game 2, where they were switching quite a bit and getting a lot of value out of it. I think
Iron Crown was even willing to give up its booster energy.
Yeah.
Honestly, though, I didn't see Iron Crown still pulling out that end game, provided like Urshifu was still around. But I could see where Rodolfo was going for, right? Like he's like, I know that you have to hit my Iron Crown right now. I could just try to like Bleak Wind later and just like try to deal with this Urshifu later. And then Iron Crown is more free to sweep the end game.
Yeah, I think a really, really smart adjustment from Rodolfo. Still very close to getting the value he needed out of it. Got a really nice expanding force on that turn 1, and Didi didn't quite get the value. I think the Bleak Winds also didn't really favor Rodolfo there, where he missed that one on Amoonguss, which maybe if he's able to connect another, and then I think if he connects both and KOs the Amoonguss at the end of that game 2, then with that speed drop that he got from that Bleak Wind, then maybe, and if he connects another Bleak Wind, then maybe the game is his, and we're there is no game 3 here.
I do want to say this: we have not really seen much of Rodolfo before, and he looked like he looked seasoned.
Well.
Yeah, I was impressed. So if you're watching this back at home later, like props to you.
Good.
Michael's been playing for a while. He's been trying to cook up in the lab against other people. So yeah, like on both sides, right? Michael's playing really well too.
Yeah, it's really hard. I think Michael definitely has to play.
Oh yeah, he does.
He has the level of play that he has to have is a little bit higher than Rodolfo, just because Rodolfo has his team matchup's so much better. Because
that game
of that
one,
size spam.
That game 1 might have come down to just like identifying the win con, right?
Yeah.
Like, and that was really hard to see too if you're Michael.
Really different. I think one thing Michael did learn is Amoonguss is worth bringing even if Iron Crown is brought, right? Iron Crown and Didi were the adjustment, and Amoonguss was still really, really good. Definitely better than the Fluttermane would have been, and so that does put a lot of burden on Urshifu, which is something that I think Rodolfo is going to be looking to exploit. And this might be one of the ways he can exploit that.
Well,
maybe.
the Fluttermane is just specs, right? This is a Scarf Urshifu, so
it doesn't have Terra Grass or anything. It is Terra Fairy, and so we could see yet another is it Tailwind Surging Strikes or Tailwind Rain Dance Surging Strikes from Michael this turn? And what does Rodolfo do to keep this Fluttermane safe, because it certainly is not on this turn? Surging Strikes is going to be doing a whole lot of damage.
Yeah. If you want to be safe, if you're Michael, you click Tailwind Surging Strikes. I don't really know what Rodolfo can do to get around that besides switching in his own Urshifu, but then
Bleak Wind switch into your own Urshifu is a reasonable play. You get some nice chip.
Stagger the Tailwind,
get some chip. That seems pretty good, but we aren't seeing any switches, so this Fluttermane may just be immediately
ain't no lie, bye, right?
Maybe. We're seeing Urshifu go for a Terra Water once again. Michael really likes these Terra Waters in this matchup, and I really can't blame him. As the Tailwind does go out, no Rain Dance on this turn, as Tornadoes will be trading Tailwinds this turn. And so, thanks to that Choice Scarf, Urshifu will be the next to move with this powerful Terra Water boosted Surging Strikes. And Fluttermane probably has a good amount of bulk given how well it took that first hit, but
with the crits,
Water,
it just... I'm sorry.
Crits in Terra Water too much, and that is Fluttermane down for the count. And so Rodolfo gets absolutely no value out of that Pokemon in this game 3.
It's kind of interesting, because isn't this the same kind of lead that Michael has been leading?
I think
right? Game 2, he definitely led it.
Yeah, and so now it's Ogerpon, which is also
It might be Ogre, right?
yeah,
like he just.
It's like okay, I'll just keep clicking Surging Strikes.
Yeah. It's so interesting how like Michael just stuck with the same thing, and it's just working out just purely on the lead. I mean, the lead in game 2 wasn't even that much threatening, right? It was like Torn plus Urshifu against Torn plus Ursh, and they both just or no, it was Crown Urshifu,
Crown
right?
Urshifu, yeah.
That one, like, okay, you gotta give credit where credit's due. That one's pretty anti Urshifu stuff, right? And that's why Michael U-turned. So maybe Rodolfo was thinking, there's no way Michael's just going to allow that type of thing to happen. Let me get the leg up on him. But Michael correctly identified that Urshifu was going to be the mono choice. Ooh, see a taunt come out, but this probably means Bleak Wind Storm's coming out.
Yeah,
because,
there has to be Bleak Wind from Michaels, because Michaels would have gone
Sash,
first otherwise.
Speedy.
And so here's that Surging Strikes. Tornado, okay, the Ogerpon doesn't quite, maybe trying to catch
chunky fella.
Yeah, it does take it, but if this Bleak Wind connects, which is a big if, then this is really, really bad for Rodolfo. That taunt really not doing a lot. Yeah, and there's the double connect on Bleak Wind.
That's a lot of damage.
Ogerpon doesn't get to do anything. It would have loved to go for that Horn Leech into that Urshifu, but I think Woodhammer would have been much nicer to have in this situation, as that would have threatened the Urshifu, whereas this Horn Leech definitely wouldn't have. But if you had Horn Leech, then heals up, then Urshifu can come in. Rodolfo's Scarf Urshifu can come in and hit Michael's, but Michael hasn't taken any damage.
Yeah. Do you think he can pull off the fabled perfect?
I don't think so.
He's got to crit this Torn. He's got to crit. Everything gets crit.
Yeah, I don't know if you can stop Urshifu on Rodolfo's side from getting a Surging Strikes off. It's just I don't know if that moves the needle enough, because like what is... Michael just has so many resources, right?
Yeah.
Rodolfo can't switch anymore. He can't stop a fake out from this Incineroar in the back. I think he just lets the Pokemon go down, goes for the Surging Strikes into that Tornadus with that Bleak Wind chip from before, definitely enough to pick up that KO. And now it is just the hero of this, like the most important Pokemon for both sides in this matchup, that Choice Scarf Urshifu, all on its own for Rodolfo. But it's a 4-1. It's got to click Surging Strikes a lot of times, and it's going to start with one onto this Tornadus, doing quite a bit.
You take it?
Doesn't quite get there.
It's taking it. It's taking it.
Tornadus just has a Focus Sash, and it's still taking that hit pretty well. Is the Bleak Wind connect? Of course not. I think Michael's probably fine with that. Yes, miss when it doesn't matter, please.
I think so. I don't see how you could let this game slip, because like Michael's Urshifu is pretty healthy, right? Like he's guaranteed to get damage, and Rodolfo can only get one knockout at a time. He's got to do it 4 times, so it's likely to happen.
I don't know if you need to switch Tornado.
It is what it is.
There's a million ways to skin this cat, so I think it's fine. But
you PP stall it.
PP stall the search.
There are many ways to.
Well, I guess these want to show like Incineroar can take this. I don't actually. Can Incineroar take this? We'll see. Maybe can it maybe take this? It cannot take this.
Cannot take this. Cannot take. Oh, you know what I see it? I see it as like now he gets torn back in, sets up Tailwind, and then boom, Flutter Mane.
But there's no Flutter. I think you just go into a Moongus.
Or Michael has Flutter Mane, right?
He has a Moongus.
Oh, he has Moongus?
Yeah.
I don't know why we're trying to look. We can just say this, like Michael, like
the game's over.
Yeah, Michael pulled through with the Urshifu.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that was like a Michael saying like, this is my best lead and my only lead into this Iron Crown team. Like I have to bring Urshifu and Tornadus, or if that was just, or if that was Michael expecting Rodolfo to switch it up. And that's something I'm gonna have to ask Michael later.
Yeah, I think it was just. I would expect him to say, like, I just needed to lead this because every other lead just kind of instantly loses to some combination of Pokemon that Rodolfo can bring. This gives him options. Right, here's the Tailwind. Here's another Surging Strikes. Michael getting so much value out of this move in this game.
Yeah.
Just slowly chipping away this Urshifu. This end game is going to take a little bit, but rest assured, unless Michael Surging Strikes his own Pokemon, I think he's got this in the bag.
Wow, it was a very good set, I will say. Like games 1 and game 2 were very enjoyable. I'm not saying that this one wasn't, but it definitely came down to Michael just click Surging Strikes.
How many times has he clicked Surging Strikes?
Oh my God, what if Michael even loses on? Yeah, okay, he's got like 3 more.
He's got 3 more. I think Amoongus can. There is Flutter. I thought there was an Amoongus in the back.
Okay.
I'm blind. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's all right.
I thought there was Amoongus. Amoongus would have helped a lot. I feel like he should have had Amoongus.
I started to question my sanity. I was like,
Then saving tail,
Tailing.
getting it again, and then going for.
There's many ways to
Moonblast.
guarantee this.
Yeah.
And that's just the one route.
See, it could have been a Moongus. It would have been exactly the same because Urshifu just keep clicking Surging Strikes.
I suppose.
And there we go. Michael taking the win over Rodolfo. Really, really well played set. I think that might be my favorite one so far. That was a really
Today.
very
Honorable.
insanely fast game in game one. Game two slowed down in a really interesting way that I thought was really fun to watch. Both players started trying to get a little bit more value, and Michael just barely coming up ahead. And then game three was just kind of Michael going off to the races and saying, well, if you're not going to click Surging Strikes, I'm going to click Surging Strikes. And Surging Strikes is a very good move. That is that's how you win games in Regulation F, is you click Surging Strikes more than your opponent.
It's kind of crazy to me because Rodolfo could have also clicked Surging Strikes, you know? That could have led him down a path of like Amoongus comes in later, though. Whereas, you know, if Michael's clicking Surging Strikes and Rodolfo's not like respected enough with like his own like Terra Water crown, then he's put into this weird pin position. And that's exactly what happened in this game, right? No crown, no Terra Water, no nothing. Nothing's going to take that Surging Strikes.
Yeah, just very quickly in game three turned into, wait, what stops Surging Strikes into everything that isn't the Tornadus on this game? And it was just kind of nothing, right?
Yeah.
Like as soon as Flare Main went down turn one, oh no. Ogre Punk comes in, wait, that doesn't resist Surging Strike, that goes down to Surging Strikes too, this is bad.
Yeah. Oh no, indeed.
Oh no, indeed. And so I think, very much a game of trading Bleak Winds, trading Surging Strikes, and whenever you're doing that, there's plenty of different ways that it can go, especially Bleak Winds, such a high variance move, and so Michael getting the better end of that.
Sorry to interrupt, but you know one way we could go? We could go straight into Michael's mind with an interview.
Go.
Yeah?
With Surging Strikes into the mind of Michael. See how he's feeling about
Nice
that
pun.
game.
I'll fist bump you for that.
That was a terrible
And
one.
after we interview Michael, this is our final round of Swiss. I had erroneously said that was round 4. This is round 5.
5
Which means
rounds.
next round, top cut. So we're going to be around for a little bit longer to interview, but after that, just a quick little break as some sheets are checked, some team lists are teamed, some listers are listed, and then, we'll get Michael on
stuff.
here.
And we'll have our top 8 in just a moment. But don't go anywhere. We'll have Michael in just a short moment to talk through that exciting game, exciting round 5, but don't go anywhere.
Hello, everyone. I am Mitchell. I am joined here by your winner of round 5, Michael Wong. Say hi, Michael.
Oh, hello everyone. Hello stream. Hello chat.
Yeah,
Good to be
so
here.
this might be your first time on an interview. It's not your first time on stream, but like interview, huh?
It is.
So
yeah.
you want to give us a little bit of info about yourself at all?
Oh, sure. I mean, I've been playing VGC since 2014, but I didn't like 2016, so I played until a couple years, and then I took a really long break, and then I came back in like 2023ish, started dabbling, and then met the lovely NorCal VGC scene, and got hooked from there. So now we're doing the whole regional grind, trying to qualify for Worlds this year.
Okay, sick
yeah.
work. And you already got off on a good foot with the, forgive me, the Monterey Regional, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Managed to bubble into a top 16 there, winning in for cut, lost to the finalist, Alexander Canseco, which in a pretty close match. So yeah, that was an awesome experience, and it's nice to bag some points early in the season.
Yeah, definitely. So I do want to ask you about your team. I can't help but notice that another like pretty good player has used this team before,
Familiar,
right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. It's basically the Wolf Blick Orlando champion team. I'm not gonna lie, Mitchell. I was having a big team crisis. Coming into this, I had great ideas for Reg F Redux. I was playing around, feeling good, and then a few days ago, I was hopped on a ladder session and realized, oh, my team is garbage. And,
the one you've been building. I have been seeing that unfold in the chat, and I'm just like, I wish you everything, not even just luck, but like everything.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun, but kind of garbage. So I was looking around, like, okay, why not just use this, this opportunity to get familiar with the format, play established good teams, and then maybe see what clicks, and then maybe build from there. Maybe see what I want to bring to Toronto.
And the team is just fundamentals, you know. It's just instant Amoongus, insert water type here, and then it's just got a bunch of offense, and you click Tanwin. And Tanwin's really nice.
Tanwin's nice, as we saw in that,
Yeah,
game
definitely.
It was
So
nice.
I also thought it was kind of pivotal that your Tornadus was a little bit faster. Well, not even a little bit. You're Sash, so you're probably close to max speed, right?
Don't tell anyone, but yeah.
Okay.
Max
Yeah.
speed.
When it comes down to it, like I feel like that was like a big piece, especially since his Torn had taunt. So it's like, oh, I don't have to worry about that too much.
Yeah. I did assume there that I was faster. I don't remember if I really needed to rely on winning a potential speed tie. I was a little wary, though. I actually played around in Swiss against a taunt. Tornadoes, Corver Cloak, that speed tied me, and was also max limit. So you can't assume
scary.
anything.
Yep, exactly,
in
right.
here, right? But, it's always nice to have the faster tailwind on your side, especially on a monster mod like Tornadoes.
I hear you. In the first game, I feel like we were thinking it was a little bit interesting that you Surging Strike the opposing Urshifu. Care to comment on this? Because like game 1, there was a Torn and an Ursh, and you Surging Striked his, and then I forget what the game.
It was
Flutter Mane in the
Flutter,
back,
right?
Or no, and then there was Ogre Pawn in the back. You brought in like Ensign just to like fake out and such, and by then like the damage had been done. Like your Flutter Mane could not like beat the Tornadoes and the Ogre Pawn, and both were at full health.
I see. On turn 2, you mean after? I was in trouble that game. I think the turn 1 Rain Dance was a little short-sighted.
Yeah.
If you remember that?
Right, it just enabled him.
Yeah, I was nervous about like bulky specs Flutter, so I wasn't sure if I needed the Rain Dance to KO, and I really didn't want to eat, a Specs Moonblast in return. So I'm like, in the moment, I was like, I'm gonna Rain Dance, guarantee. Like I knew he was not faster than me, right? So I'm just gonna guarantee this KO. But then I immediately realized, like, oh, now this opposing Urshifu is just gonna like run through my team. So by turn 2, I don't know. I guess we could analyze if you want, but I was just thinking, like, if I don't at least take care of this Urshifu or something, like I might as well damage this Urshifu, and then maybe I can get through it. And win. But if I don't, obviously it's just gonna kill everything on my side. Right?
Okay, so, I see that.
Yeah.
I had a play in mind that I could tell you later because I do want to just focus on you. Like you were able to adapt, and a big part of that was you brought a Mungus, right? And then you just benched it game 3. So what went on?
Amoongus, it's always a little scary. I was really torn between the choice of which Pokemon to terrestrialize, right? Because obviously if you bring Amoongus into Iron Crown, for obvious reasons, you're probably going to want to Terra that, right? But also, he had already shown Flutter Mane turn 1, right? And also Tornadus was around, so it was like there's a lot of pressure to terrestrialize Urshifu as well, and you see how good it is when it can survive some moves, right? So game 1, I was because of that, I'm like, okay, I am going to probably drop Amoonguss here. I was expecting the Iron Crown mode from him game 1, right?
Yeah.
Game 2, yeah, I decided to
Brought
bring...
Amoonguss when he brought the crown
Right,
in the
yeah.
front.
Interesting. But like I knew because I had
Yeah.
Terra Water, I was like, it's okay. It's not the worst thing, right? And I may have been slightly, traumatized by how much the Urshifu on the other opposing side was doing. So I'm like, okay, let's bring Amoonguss. He didn't even bring Crown. He was leaning into the Urshifu thing. I probably need this tool. And then game 3 is waffling again. We decided to just go back. I guess you couldn't see my team preview side, but I waited a long time deciding between Amoonguss or Fluttermane. And I thought back to game 1. I was like, I know that didn't go my way, but I can definitely do better, right? So I was like, okay, if I just bring Flutter and play better, maybe that's enough rather than risk bringing Amoonguss there instead, like switching it up and then things not going the way I thought they would, like not matching up with game 1.
Okay, I hear it. I like it, and we got to see it out in play, right? You played that very phenomenally. Game 2, game 3, you just click the button.
Yeah,
not trying to undervalue, but
right?
very fortunate.
Yeah.
Last thing, any shout outs? I know that you're a family man. Do you have anyone watching? Did you want to shout out anyone special? Perhaps someone sitting right next to you? Or no, I'm just kidding. Who do you want to shout out, dude?
NorCal VGC scene, that's yourself included, Mitch. Honestly, this community has been so great. It's been a big part of my life lately, and actually that means a big deal to me. So, and of course, I got to shout out my family too for giving me the space to come out to these events.
Yes, very sweet of them.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for having me, Michael.
Thanks, man.
And thank you for being had yourself. We'll see you with Top Cut.
Look forward to it.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We are in top 8 of our very first Regulation F tournament here in Sunnyvale, California at the CardArt Card Shop. My name is Zach. Mitchell is gone. We have Alvin here to guide us through. This is the Malamar guy. He got day 2 in Milwaukee with Malamar and Toxtricity. Did you run Malamar today?
I did not.
Okay, that's why you're here, not in Top Cut. All right.
Very true.
All right, let's talk about the match we have ahead of us. We've got Justin, who was on stream earlier today with that hard Trick Room team, up against Matthew with a very much a blast from the past. This is the team that won the first tournament in Regulation F. This is Alex Underhill's Portland winning team from way back when, at the beginning of 2024. And I'm not sure how these teams will match up. We'll have to find out. What do you think?
Well, it's looking like Justin has a pretty clear strategy. Try to get that Trick Room up. And since both these teams really don't like Fake Out, Justin has a Armor Tail and Psychic Surge to block the extreme speeds that Matthew's team really likes to throw out. Yeah, like 4 out of 5 of 4 out of 6 of Matthew's team has one priority move.
Yeah.
So
everything but Ogre Pawn and Fluttermane have priority moves. So yeah, that's going to be something that Matthew's going to have to work around, and it's not as easy as, oh, you click Ice Spinner and get rid of it, because that Furgraph is also an option. But Matthew's going to try to do it anyway, because this Dragonite is so strong regardless, because you can always just click Choice Band Rock Slide. And Justin saying, all right, I will set Psychic Terrain to stop priority, and if that doesn't work, we have Armor Tail to stop priority. So no priority and double Trick Room options for Justin. So Matthew's certainly going to be doing a lot of damage, but might not want to give Justin a free turn of a free switch under Trick Room.
Oh, very true. The thing, this Rock Slide actually puts on a lot of pressure just from the flinch chances.
Yeah.
I think. Because
like,
if one Trick Room gets stopped, it's like, oh, you're really on the back pedal with that Justin's team.
Yeah, even if like he doesn't get a flinch with Rock Slide, you can just keep clicking it, like sort of ruin Choice Band Rock Slide. Still going to do quite a bit of damage. Indeedee will be going for the Follow Me on this turn. Here's the Icicle Crash from that Chen Pao, doing quite a lot to that Indeedee, but takes it well enough. Here's the Rock Slide. That's Indeedee down. That's good. Is there the 30% flinch chance into this Farigiraf to stop Trick Room? Does it go up? Does it not?
Oh,
Farigiraf does get to go for that Trick Room. So Justin breathes a big sigh of relief, does get Trick Room up, and does get Torkoal, or potentially this Dark Urshifu in the back to switch in to start getting those KOs while Trick Room is up. Dragonite, not too fussed about this. It does resist fire. This is Choice Specs Torkoal, however, so it can do quite a lot of damage. And Chen Pao does have Focus Sash, so it means Justin will be looking to break that Focus Sash with something like the Hyper Voice from that Furgar. Well, something like exactly Hyper Voice. You can't use Psychic. That's the only way to do it.
I do wonder if, since there's no multi-scale on this Dragonite, maybe a Helping Hand, Terrifier, Choice Specs, all those modifiers, that might be enough.
Those numbers are getting pretty high at that point. Torkoal will be donning the Chandelier to do even more fire-type damage. Chen Pao wants nothing to do with any of this. Will be protecting on this turn. Dragonite has no such luxury to do that. But the all-important question, how well does Dragonite take this Choice Specs Terrifier Eruption in the sun at full HP? Dragonite is a bulky dragon type, does resist it, but oh my goodness, that is, what, 75-80% to that Pokemon? Let's see if the Hyper Voice can follow it up with the KO. It can. There's Dragonite gone. Really wishing it had multi-scale, really wishing it had Assault Vest here, has neither and has no chance of survival, and that is a free KO for Justin. But Matthew now gets his own free switch inside a Trick Room, but might not have something slower than this Torkoal. But Raging Bolt, a great option here. Here's another bulky dragon. Good luck with that. And Photosynthesis as well.
The thing here is normally you would just thunderclap Torkoal to try to get low to weaken the eruption, but you can't. So it's going to be tricky. Maybe seeing how much the eruption did to the Dragonite, I feel Raging Bolt takes it a little better, but it'll still take a massive amount.
Yeah, the Raging Bolt did get the Photosynthesis boost, so I think Thunderbolt rather, might just one-shot this Torkoal if it gets a chance to swing at it, and so it is really just a matter of Can Justin KO this Raging Bolt? This is not crucially an Assault Vest Raging Bolt, as we see because it is protecting on this turn. It is the safety goggles, which is nice into the Smear Goal, but that's not on the field right now. That Assault Vest would be lovely in this situation to take this Eruption a little bit better. Chen Pao, I think it'll survive this attack because of the Focus Sash, but yeah, nothing brought instantly down to that Focus Sash, and we'll see Photograph most likely follow up with a Hyper Voice to pick up that KO. Oh no, it goes for the Psychic, trying to get a little bit more damage onto a potential switch in, but there's the Sacred Sword into Photograph, doesn't quite get the KO either, and so I think Matthew had an opportunity to get some damage onto Torkoal, weaken that Eruption, but doesn't quite take it. Didn't probably think that Chen Pao would survive.
And now the Trick Room turns are coming down. 2 more?
Yeah,
Are you counting 2 more?
2 more should be, and so we're getting close to it, and it's still the big question mark is how bulky is this Raging Bolt? Does it survive the Eruption plus Hyper Voice / Psychic? Does it not? We'll have to see. Chen Pao is going to save itself this turn, so not protecting on this turn.
Well, another fire risk
Here's
coming in.
all the
3 of them.
Matthew's like, all right, I'll just bring all the fire resist. How about that? That'll help, right? Let's see how much it actually does help.
Oh.
Entei does have the Assault Vest. That's where the Assault Vest is in this team, so it does take that well enough. How much the Psychic, I think with the Psychic terrain, does get rid of that Raging Bolt, so that's pretty great. But still a couple more turns of Tailwind or Trick Room to go here. And because Entei switched in on that attack, I don't know if it can take the follow-up of a Psychic plus another Eruption here, and so it might just be Justin clicks the buttons and Matthew hopes to not get KO'd here. Like, Chen Pao can survive, I think, if it goes to the Protect on this turn, but it's looking...
Assault Vest helping Entei survive, but now he can't stall out the last Trick Room.
Now it can't Protect. It couldn't go for Extreme Speed if it wanted to.
You can Extreme his Chen Pao.
You can
It'll work in Psychic Terrain if you're not...
You could KO your Chen Pao if you really wanted to, just to have Entei do something. Torkoal clicking its favorite button, that big Eruption button, to do all the damage in the world. Let's see how much this can do into Entei. Yeah, it does survive, but that's absolutely within Hyper Voice range. Psychic also certainly enough to get the KO onto that Entei. And so that's Entei down, and Chen Pao has 1 HP in a dream.
Against the full health Torkoal, I'm thinking there's any world.
Yeah, Torkoal doesn't even need Trick Room to beat Chen Pao at this point. It can just click Eruption, and I don't know how many. Like, I guess no. Chen Pao has a way to win. Chen Pao can flinch Icicle Crash onto this Torkoal forever, but there's also a Furgraph, and Justin also has another Pokemon in the back, and so if I'm Matthew, I'm certainly thinking about how do I adjust to this moving into game 2. Sacred Sword gets the Consolation Prize KO onto Furgraph, but Torkoal will swiftly end this with yet 1 more Eruption for the road. So if you're Matthew, how do you adjust? You brought all the fire resists in the world and your Focus Sash Pokemon, and it still didn't quite pan out.
Yeah. Maybe... he has 1 more fire resist on the bench with his Orgaspawn Wellspring if it terastallizes.
Which I don't think Matthew actually terrored at all in that game, so could look to use that as an option, because even in the special defense boost also very handy in front of this team, as there's only 1 physical attacker, and that's that Urshifu, which of course Justin did bring. Matthew doesn't know that, he didn't see it, but certainly another thing to worry about. And I mean, we can also go back to that game, that turn 1, right? If Rock Slide gets the flinch,
it's a whole different game.
Whole different game. Of course, not a tremendously reliable option, but
27% chance.
27% chance, factoring the hit chance of Rock Slide in. So not the worst odds. Like, I think it's what Matthew should have gone for given those leads, and so didn't quite get it, and still played her. I think he needed to just like preserve the Entei a little bit, like switching it in on the Eruption. I felt like just put it. He needed to take Eruption and fire back on that turn, right? Like Entei had a turn to attack, get a pretty meaty Sacred Fire or Stomping Tantrum into the Torkoal to weaken those things, or even Snarl would be pretty great.
Oh yeah, Snarl would be really good there. I think maybe Matthew has to choose between either stopping the Trick Room or just trying to survive in the Trick Room the turns. I think he went for the first stopping the Trick Room game 1, but we'll see what if these are. Same lead.
Yep, same lead. I was kind of wanting to see an Entei maybe just lead immediately and start spamming Snarl.
Oh,
we
but
do
a
have an adjustment
switch
from
up.
Justin, so I think smart to do that.
Everyone's favorite dog is on the
Everyone's
field.
everyone's favorite Beagle, Smeargle, is here. It does not have Moody, so we don't have to worry about those shenanigans. Just
No
the,
wide guard either.
no wide
so
guard either.
Rockslide is still on the board.
Rockslide is on the board. However, Smeargle is most likely faster than this strat. Well, actually, it could be
Oh.
slower, because Smeargle could be really slow for the decorate stuff. So it's going to be an awkward situation of which one is actually faster, and if Smeargle can go for the Spore before Dragonite moves or after. Raging Bolt with the safety goggles is going to be really nice into that slot. Takes the fake out pretty comfortably, doesn't mind that much. Here's the Rock Slide. Biss onto
Misses
either is
Farigiraf.
great. It's not great. A lot of damage into Smeargle, though, as we do see the Trick Room get set up. So Farigiraf didn't have to worry about getting flinched that time.
All right, now looking very, very scary for Matthew. This Smeargle.
Yeah, now it's
Can do
who
anything
is,
he wants.
is Smeargle slower than the Dragonite? Dragonite on these teams usually have no speed investment at all, but
Smeargle's actually slower than Farigiraf.
yeah, Smeargle's slower than everything. Wow, this Smeargle is very lethargic. Gets the Spore onto that Dragonite, gets a nice Hyper Voice. Thunderbolt into the Farigiraf instead, not trying to give Justin that free switch yet, which I do kind of like. You don't want to let Torkoal in before you are ready for it.
With
However,
that Decorate,
Decorate-
Farigiraf is a threat on his own.
Decorate Hyper Voice. Decorate. Justin's logging in these moves so quickly. He knows what he wants. He's like, all right, I know how this goes.
Don't worry, buddy. Not gonna score you. I'm gonna help
Yeah.
my partner out.
Yeah, Raging Bolt will protect here, but to no avail. Smeargle is not targeting that at all. As Farigiraf gets a nice Decorate, all the frosting to boost up that special attack and attack stat. So what's better than Throat Spray? A little
Two throat sprays.
Two throat sprays, a little more frosting. Dragonite does survive, but does not get that first turn wake on this turn. And so Dragonite a little high and dry here. Raging Bolt also not going to love taking a +4?
Or if he
Hyper-
chooses to
if
do
he
another
decorates
Decorate.
again. Which, is there a reason for Justin not to do that? Like, why not?
I don't know. Maybe he's just predicting the ghost type to switch in.
That's
Maybe.
true. That's true.
Spore seems like a safe plan all in all, unless Orcaporn comes in. But yeah.
Yeah, you can just be
Looks
like,
like he's
I'm just gonna
decorating.
keep clicking the decorate button. There it
Alright.
is.
Maybe it's a Farigiraf sweep.
Farigiraf is slathered in frosting and ready to fight everybody.
Long
this
neck?
Big Hyper Boys. Yup.
I guess Farigiraf is winning the long neck battle this
Yep.
time.
Farigiraf is in the war of necks defeated both dragon types. Torkoal not needed. So I guess this is kind of the pin that Justin's team is built around, is like KO Smeargle, or this happens, and if you KO Smeargle, well, what happens in game 1 happens. Torkoal comes in and clicks Eruption and everything gets KO'd that way. Here is Chen Pao and the Entei, and do we think +6 Psychic KOs Entei, Assault Vest Entei?
Whereas +4 with Psychic
Or
Terrain
+4
might be a
with
little
Psychic
stronger.
Terrain even, probably even stronger, yes. Does that do it? And then, because like at this point, Justin can be saying, all right, if I just KO Entei, which cannot protect, then Torkoal just 1v1s Chen Pao any day of the week.
Yeah,
so.
Torkoal's looking really good against both of these Pokemon, actually.
Yeah, I think like at this point, we're kind of joking a little bit. At this point, Justin's got like such an advantage that all he has to do is just attack the things that can protect to get guaranteed progress, and then
Yes.
he'll have enough resources.
There's no
to close
Terra
it.
Ghost mind games
Yeah.
with the Chen Pao Psychic Hyper Voice. Just hit that Entei.
Just hit the
hard and
Entei.
fast. Yeah.
So, do you think this KOs?
I think it KOs.
Psychic into I think so too, which is very sad for Entei. Entei's had a rough go of it, has Sacred Fire, it has all this power, but it's not going to get any chance to go for any of these priority moves. So much priority shut down on Justin's side. Matthew's trying, going for the Terra Ghost onto the Chen Pao. Here it is, the Psychic into
It is
Entei. That's the KO. That was an Assault Vest. You couldn't tell because you're like, Farigiraf Psychic doesn't do that much damage. There's the other Sacred Sword into that Farigiraf. Not quite enough. Icicle Crash might have gotten there, but you know that might just be the end of it anyway if you get the KO on Farigiraf, because then, okay, Torkoal comes in and then you click Psychic Eruption. So, oh yeah, Matthew really not quite getting what he wanted here. There's the Sacred Sword.
The
Trick
Rocky
Room-
Helmet breaks.
Yeah, breaks the
The
focus
sash.
sash, and Farigiraf getting... Oh, okay.
A Trick Room. It
Sorry.
might get all 4 KOs this way.
How did you steamroll this team? Oh, I just clicked Psychic with... Farigiraf swept.
Yeah, my Psychic one-hit KO'd
The
the Entei and the Chien-Pao. Huh,
How did you
interesting.
Psychic Oko a Chien-Pao? Oh, a Terra Ghost from my +4 Hyper Voice. Oh, gosh. Okay. And just like that, that was a very quick... We got some back and forth Game 3 games. That was back to what we had earlier in the day with very quick 2-0s. This format is just so much more offensive than Regulation H, so it's giving me at least a little bit of whiplash given how quickly some of these games can end, where that was what, five turns? Or I guess 6 instead of Trick Room again, so
Yeah. Each.
very, very quick. Yeah,
Wow.
I mean, it kind of makes sense. How does this team built around like spamming very powerful priority moves? How does it deal with Farigiraf and Hatterene? The answer is not especially well.
I guess so.
And yeah, it's like, all right, you got a lot of fire resist, but Torkoal didn't even show up in game 2. Farigiraf, the true long-necked hero that you all needed, is going to be bringing Justin into top 4 here today, redeeming himself from that game, round 2 game on stream, where he Terra grassed his Smeargle in front of an Urshifu that he thought was Rapid Strike, but it was actually Single Strike. We haven't seen Urshifu in a while. You can't blame him for that. So
True. It doesn't look any different on the screen.
it's just
so-
like the posing. It's like this is Rapid Strike and like this
hard.
is Single Strike. Like that's it. There's not even like a color difference. It's not like one is blue and one's black or something. It's just posing. It's all it is. But Justin quickly bouncing back. That was only lost today so far. So coming into top 4, we'll see if he can take it even farther with this Trick Room team. He's used Trick Room quite a lot. Very seasoned player with this, and you showed that very expertly on stream today in this match where Torkoal go burr.
Burr.
I think
Farigiraf go burr.
Farigiraf went burr way more than I was ever expecting that. That was the craziest Farigiraf sweep I've ever seen. It was the only Farigiraf sweep I've ever seen. Decorate. I was talking to Justin earlier, and he was like, I might remove Decorate. I haven't really clicked it that much. That easily won in the game here. So maybe Decorate's sticking. I don't know. We'll see.
I think Decorate has a lot of potential, even outside these hard Trick Room teams.
Yeah.
Just being able to boost your partner, it's similar to like using Howl, except it's like a little better than Howl.
It's a super Howl.
Super Howl.
It's just like, hey, you want a free weakness policy? Here you go, buddy. Like, go for it.
Yeah, and we didn't even see the Urshifu Single Strike, but
Yeah, I think it's worth mentioning that, like, in either game, Justin didn't even show 4 Pokemon. He only brought showed 3 in either game. Like, he just had a thing that kind of KO'd I think Torkoal KO'd everything in game 1, and then Farigiraf KO'd everything in game 2. So that's what happens when you give these Trick Room teams just a little bit of wiggle room, and they
yeah,
can just steamroll over
these
you.
Pokemon aren't even Reg F Pokemon, except for Urshifu.
Urshifu.
They're all
It's
legal
all-
in the last regulation.
Yeah, this is just a Reg H. You figured it out, Justin. This is just a Reg H team. Yeah, this is just a Reg H team. But with that, let's actually hear from Justin, the mastermind of this team. See how he built this and how he's feeling going into top 4 here today in our first Regulation F tournament. So we'll be back in just a moment.
Hello, everyone. I am Mitchell. I am once again back on the mic to commentate for Jay Wani, also known as Justin Wan. It's good to have you here. That was a 2-0 victory, right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, so tell me about that set. I heard Fair Draft just popped off in game
It
2.
did. So what happened was I had the speed control with Trick Room and everything.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to just switch in Torkoal because I was afraid he would call it and attack.
Oh.
So basically what I did was while he was protecting, I basically was putting Decorate on, using Decorate with Smeargle to boost up the Rigrass special attack, and it ended up working because after Smeargle went down, I switched in Indeedee for Psychic Terrain, and at +4 special attack, I managed to Oko Assault Vest Entei with Psychic at full HP.
That is awesome. That is cool. How did game 1 play out?
Okay,
That was more of a Torkoal game, huh?
So Matthew and I actually played each other in Swiss in the final round,
Oh.
and he actually beat me thanks to Rock Slide flinches. I just was not able to set up Trick Room at all. So it basically came down to, was it going to happen again? And fortunately, it did not this time.
Okay, cool. That's kind of scary every time you see Rock Slide.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then, that's the whole game plan. If you flinch once, it's like, okay, maybe I could set it up again. Flinch twice, like, definitely game over.
Yes, for sure.
Okay, well, I had a couple of questions for you because I don't think I've had you on like an interview kind of style
Yeah,
session.
this is my first
before.
time.
Okay, so I wanted to know why Smeargle? Because you always bring Smeargle. I remember back when you were playing in like even 2016.
Yes.
You were bringing Oko move Smeargle, and you top cut a
Yeah.
regional with it. So
I
tell me
did.
why? What is it about Smeargle?
I think it's just its unpredictability. It can literally move almost any move in the game except for, I guess technically it can learn Dark Void, but it won't be like,
Can't use it
won't
anymore.
work.
Yeah.
But yeah, it can learn almost anything. And speaking of 2016, I remember those times when, so if you know the ability Moody, like it can obviously boost 2 stats and decrease 1. Back then, those stats included accuracy and evasion. And I just love that randomness that Moody gave you.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you like that kind of chaos with
Yes.
the gameplay? Yeah, it's cool. I dig it too.
Yeah, it probably wasn't my favorite Pokemon before I got into competitive, but I think it is now.
Okay. What was your favorite? Can I ask?
It was Charizard, and I always whenever
Charizard's
it was
good
available, I always wanted to try it out, see if it could work, and I did try it out once back in when Reg H we had a second go round, but it didn't work out unfortunately.
Okay. But I'm glad that you stuck with your main Pokemon, Smeargle. It is a cool Pokemon, and I feel like Reg F, even Reg G a little bit, even Reg I, like it can see some use, so it definitely has an impact on
For
the
sure.
game. Even though it doesn't have Dark Void, Spore, maybe Spore, it's a blessing in disguise. Like Spore being 100% accurate is it's very crucial for when you want to make sure you get the most out of this Pokemon. Right?
Yes.
Okay. I have a couple more questions. I have to ask you. What was it like playing against yourself in the 2016 Northern California PC of a regional? You played against a player named Justin Wan. What was that like?
It was. Oh man, what? I was like, is this real? Oh man, I don't man.
And their player ID was just 60 numbers off of you, right? So they
Yeah.
probably signed up around the same time you did, right?
Yeah, that was. Man, I actually did not remember that until you brought it up again. So I was
Okay.
wow.
Well, yeah.
That's just looking back on it now. It's how?
Yeah. Have you seen it from him at all?
No, I haven't. Not once.
It's insane.
Yeah, I literally forgot he existed until you brought him up.
Okay, well, I got another question for you. What did you do in 2017 at the regional where you had your round 1 bye?
Okay, so this was Vancouver in 2017, and that round 1 bye obviously was big, especially since we only had 90 people, so it was a pretty stacked tournament. But then my next 3 opponents after that were Gavin Michaels, Aaron Zhang, who I was faced on stream in that regional,
Oh, okay.
and Ray Rizzo. Those were my next 3 opponents after that round 1 bye. And
Oh, man.
yeah, that was crazy. And then, so it's funny how you mentioned that my Smeargle shenanigans and all that stuff, because that team I top cut Vancouver with also had Sheer Cold Ninetales, Alola Ninetales, and it was round 5. I was 2-2 at the time. If I had not hit a crucial Sheer Cold when it did, I would have lost that set and I would have been out of cut.
Oh my gosh.
That thing literally saved me.
That is crazy. So that was the run where you got top cut.
Yes.
Okay, I didn't piece it all together. I just remembered you had a bye in that
Yeah.
regional. I didn't know you faced three titans of the game
I
right
know,
after
that was
that.
yeah. Like I remember, one of my friends was like posting about on Twitter, and he's like, "I'm sorry, but his schedule is just insane today."
Yeah, buy into like three really strong players.
Yeah.
Okay, I have two more lore questions. What about your the PC after the regional in Seattle against Zach? Can you please describe that round against Zach?
Oh,
He said it
God.
was the craziest game of his life, and he could still remember it to this day.
I do remember that, but like, I can't. Like, I remember that we had the set, but I can't remember exactly what happened because like, it's been so long.
Should we ask
we can
Zach
ask
for an
him.
audible?
Let's
He's
ask
wondering exactly what had come in. Should I? He'll tell. Okay, he'll tell us
Yeah.
later.
Sorry, Zach.
Okay.
I wish I could like recall exactly what happened, but I do. But I think I do recall like something crazy happening.
Okay.
Oh wait, was it a freeze that we got? Oh,
Two freezes,
Two
like
freezes.
frozen Pokemon, or the
Yeah.
game froze twice.
it was two. It was a in-game freeze, like the ice freeze thing. Yeah, the static. I do remember that now.
Oh, yeah.
Man.
Man, sheer
was
cold. That was cold, I must say.
Yeah.
Very last question. We call you Jay Wani. We love you. You're an awesome part of our community.
You guys are awesome too.
But sometimes, oh, thank you. But sometimes we tacked on that extra Jay Wani pizza slice, but we're not really sure where that comes from. Can you please tell us about the pizza slice? And
It's a nickname I got in my sophomore year of high school. It was in I think it was in an Algebra 2 class that someone came up with it, and then the teacher ran with it, and then we just all ran with it. And I was like, I need an online handle. I'll just use this.
that is awesome. It's an awesome handle. It just rolls off the tongue, Jay Wani pizza slice.
Yeah.
And then I have to ask you then, as a pizza slice enthusiast, what is your favorite slice of pizza?
That depends on my mood, but I would have to say, I don't know. There's no like specific.
Do you have one you would just not eat? Like you like anchovies on pizza?
No, not really. I think
Pineapple.
pineapple's okay. Like I'm partial to it. Like I know
Okay.
there's a lot
It's
of debate
controversial.
over. Yeah, I know there's a lot of debate over like is it good or is it not? Yeah.
Have you had deep dish pizza? Like maybe you had gone to Paxi's with us one time.
Yeah, I've had that before.
The
It's
deep
pretty
dish.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or do you prefer that, or you like a more just traditional just pizza?
I'm pretty open to anything, but
Favorite? Oh, okay. But what?
but like I feel like as long as it's not like the same pizza every time, because I like variety.
Oh, okay. Because I was gonna ask you what your favorite like pizza chain is.
Chain is?
Or
Ooh.
even like place around here. You know.
Well, okay, so Pizza Guys is the one I usually go to when I just want any pizza,
pretty good.
but
It's pretty
I'm
good.
open to anything really.
Yeah?
I will say though that like, while I do like some of the stuff that Domino's has, like I do feel like their crust is a little I don't know.
okay.
It's not exactly my favorite.
I see. Last thing I gotta ask is if you want to shout out anyone.
Well, first I'll shout out to Brian Collins and Ben Grismer because they actually piloted this paint spam team, as they call it, back in the previous go-around of Reg F, and I really liked it near when I saw it, and unfortunately it was near the end of Reg F that they kind of put their report out. So I'm glad that Reg F is back again, so I got a chance to try it out myself. And obviously, shout out to you for being such a great friend in this community.
Dude, I
And-
try, man, but we're
Yeah.
all here too for you.
Yeah,
man.
and just thank you to everyone that's been in this community. I feel like a lot of us can say this, but even though the game is what attracts us here, it's the people we meet here that keep us coming back year after year.
Yeah, it really is. It wouldn't be the same without you, Jay Wani. So thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thank
We're
you,
gonna be
Mitchell.
right back with top four.
Yes.
Top four. Hello, everyone. I am Mitchell. I'm joined by Alvin, and we are here to commentate top 4. It's exciting to be here with you, Alvin. I don't
So
think
exciting.
I've got to commentate with you ever.
No, it's a rare opportunity for me to commentate.
But-
usually just playing the game.
I've gotten to
But-
talk with you, though.
Yes,
And that
yes.
is an honor in itself. We're seeing Ethan versus Griffin. We've had both on stream. We saw Griffin unfortunately fall to Bezod's Dragonite stuff, but Bezod's actually out of contention right now. It's Ethan who was able to pull through some wins. So we got this cool like size spam, Iron Moth, fast mode with a Trick Room mode team up against Ethan's just all out, just click talent and click damaging moves, right? We got the Chiyu Fluttermane. How do you feel like Griffin can navigate around this Chiyu Fluttermane stuff?
I feel like, Trick Room definitely, since all of Ethan's Pokemon look really fast. And then Griffin does seem to have 2 modes, like a faster side spam mode and also a slower Trick Room mode with the 2 bears and then Didi, but we'll just see what their leads are.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see. So we're seeing Ethan first off with that nice cool little beanie. We're seeing Tornadus and
Right, 2
Landorus. So
genies.
yeah, if you are feeling the genies of past formats, they're here for you. We're seeing Ogerpon and Indeedee females. So the ladies are coming out here to show these 2 genies what's up.
Yeah, 2 ladies versus 2 always male
Oh, they're always
angry
male.
Jade genies.
Okay, they are. Oh yeah, they are. That's how
these
that
are
hack.
both
That's how
female
that
and both
Haxorus
males.
rivalry set did
Yeah.
well at Worlds. Yeah, that's right. I've seen that YouTube short.
Wow.
Yeah, we're seeing the Indeedee start to bulk up with his Psychic Seed, and all I see here is just follow me and or Trick Room.
Yeah, it's looking pretty hard for them to stop the Trick Room from Indeedee. Put that special defense boost and the immunity to taunt with the Psychic Drain is like, I don't know if there's anything Ethan can do.
It's just gonna have to be some damage, right? You're gonna have to hope that like Sand Serum, Bleak Wind, like are enough to take out Indeedee. But like it's Psychic Seed booster, right? On top of
Yeah.
that, what if you accidentally KO'd the Ogerpon, right? Then that's just a free switch to like, I don't know, Ursaluna, and they can start bulking up.
It's
In
true.
fact, there's even the case where like Griffin does not have to click follow me, because like why do that against 2 Pokemon that could attack with the spread moves, right?
yeah,
Why
so
not
maybe
just
he can
do
just
a little bit of a bonk with
Pump
Ivy
out some
Cudgel?
damage. We'll see what's going on.
So we're seeing the Bleak Wind Storm come out. We're seeing the Ivy
Oh.
Cudgel go bonk into this Landers, and
It's a 1-hit KO.
yeah.
It's always interesting to see the speed tiers between like these relatively fast Pokemon.
Yes.
Landorus, like their speed tiers are pretty similar, so it's all based on how they're trained. So
Yeah.
it's interesting on like a Trick Room option team. It is faster than Ethan's Landorus, which is usually pretty speedy.
Yeah, I bet Griffin's like probably trying to leverage that natural speed, because Griffin doesn't have Tailwind, but he does want to have like some sort of fast mode with the crown.
Oh,
so
very true.
yeah, which might come back to bite it, because like it might be outsped by this Chiyu, right?
Yeah, and then with the spread move, the Follow Me can't protect the Ogerpon from maybe Heat Wave or a Snarl.
Yeah. So it's going to be an interesting turn here. This is like maybe like the awkward turn of Trick Room for Griffin, where he's not in the optimal speed control. He doesn't have his Ursaluna active yet with the Flame Orb, but he's going to actually manually get that thing started, which is crazy.
Yeah, it's really scary against a choice specs.
Yeah, 252
Chiyu.
plus special attack, choice specs, Beads of Ruin, Chiyu could be doing a lot of damage here. But Griffin is hoping to offset that with his Wellspring and get that special defense boost.
All right, we're gonna learn the speed tiers now.
Yeah, they're going to learn us something. Body aspect activating, giving it that special defense boost. Wow, indeed he had the special defense boost.
All
Now
right,
it's this
Sunny
way.
Day.
Okay,
Protecting Chiyu and boosting its damage, but Chiyu is faster. It misses 1.
oh my
2.
goodness.
Uh-oh.
Oh my goodness. You hate to see that if you're Ethan. We see a double Heat Wave miss onto both Pokemon, and Chiyu gets KO'd by a critical hit. Man, Ethan cannot catch a break. First, double protects in the previous round on stream, and now it's just crit through the sun and then just double whiffing Heat Wave. That was an insane turn.
Ethan has an insane hacks highlight reel for this tournament.
Insane, yeah. Yeah, if you're Griffin, like, you're probably... I mean, like, I don't know. Did he think that... I wasn't thinking too much of, like, Sunny Day. Heat
Yeah, I
Wave.
wasn't thinking of the Sunny Day either, so I was like, oh, maybe the with the +1 SPDF, it can survive Heat Wave.
Yeah, but like
I
if
think,
Ursaluna
yeah.
caught that would have been some massive damage.
It might have been just a double KO.
Yeah, it might have
actually.
just been a double KO. But you know, we're that's a previous situation. We're here now. We're here with the Ogre Pawn that is once again probably outspeeding this Urshifu, no?
Yeah, very likely.
Yeah, very likely. But this Ursaluna is here to play. Tornado's going for the protect, and to be honest with you, I see Griffin looking a little bit sad. Perhaps he had clicked Facade into the Tornadoes.
Indeed he did.
Indeed he did. Indeed he did. And the unfortunate bit is that he's got to break through this sash on the Urshifu single strike still. But it is at -1 defenses now, so, you know, I don't exactly know what that's going to accomplish, but it's something, right? We've already seen, indeed he's actually still in the back. Ogre Pawn is down now for sure. Ogre Pawn put in a lot of work despite being so quick. Granted, it did dodge that Heat Wave. I wonder if that really mattered, you know? Could it have lived the sunny day? Or the sunny day Heat Wave? I'm not really sure. We got two options here. We got an Ndidi and an Urshifu. If you were Griffin,
If
what would
I
you
were Griffin, maybe I do that. And then follow me is always, because Urshifu, even though it's so strong, it can only hit one Pokemon at a time. But it looks like
like a Dazzling Gleam here would just bring it down to Sash, so that might be just a guaranteed way to get value out of this.
very true. And
Like what?
Tornadoes
You
will
just have to hope
always
for a double protect if you're
Yeah.
Tornadoes, right? Yeah.
see,
Oh,
maybe
two
he
sunglasses.
gets
They're
Well,
looking sharp. I
it's-
gotta
It's pretty
comment on
sunny
that.
out there. Sunny day on
Sunny
the
day,
beach.
yeah. Rain, go away.
So this game's actually not over.
Provided there be some like double protection.
Yeah,
elements,
double
right?
protect and then
Into
these
something.
bears.
We're
into
seeing the
something.
Terra Dark here, so it's gonna boost up the power of that Wicked Blow. You gotta imagine he's clicking that.
Okay, he does get the double protect.
double protect. So that's step one of the plan
Alright,
accomplished.
Facade whip.
Saw it into it. Yeah, I mean, I would have clicked that. You want to cover your bases, right?
Yeah.
I could kind of see the Terra Dark in terms of like maybe he wants to get like 3-hit KO'd by this Dazzling Gleam. I'm not really sure the calc.
But is
Okay,
it
so
into
to the KO.
Okay.
So perhaps he's just trying to fire off a massive Wicked Blow into this Urshifu. Or into this Ursaluna. It wasn't even those two. It was the DD. TD goes down. Fortunately, it's a critical hit there. Yeah. So back to the kind of drawing board for Griffin here. He's going to have this Urshifu. It's a single strike. It is a single strikeout. So it's going to be a little bit awkward. Sash is broken for Ethan. But
Trick Room is still up, correct?
yeah, I believe so. Last
then-
turn. So I guess it's maybe not as over as you may have thought. Ethan surely
it's
can't
looking pretty
triple
good for
protect,
Griffin
right?
because
Yeah.
one Pokemon's going down for sure with the
Facade
Wicked Blows.
CCs,
And
yeah.
then if it's a trade between Ursh,
Oh
a
my
triple
goodness!
protect.
What is
Okay.
happening? Hold on for a moment. Okay, so like we could also see a speed tie here with these Urshifus,
Yeah,
right? So
we're learning a lot.
Ethan's Urshifu could get a.
Urshifu
Oh
went
my
first.
goodness!
Okay, that's good to know. It's either a
I don't know if it's. I don't think it matters, right? Because
Yeah.
Griffin still has Sash attack, but like that was just like a pretty. I don't even know what to say.
I think
It's
it
still an
could
uphill battle,
come
right?
to Sucker Punch Mind Games.
You think so? Yeah, I guess it depends on Ethan's speed. No.
Oh.
I don't know. This is a full health Tornadoes though, right? Okay, so it's not. It's a little bit scary. Huh?
tricky.
It is tricky. It depends on how fast Ethan's Tornadoes.
And
is,
if it gets the Bleak Windstorm speed drop.
Oh yeah,
if
that could definitely
matters.
help. Yeah.
So I think
exactly.
it's definitely a 2-hit KO.
Oh man, this is a bit of a worrisome state that we're in.
Okay, well we know it's faster, and then
Got to Sash. Wow, this is
maybe if
pretty
it's
crazy.
like super bulky, it can survive a Wicked Blow plus Sucker Punch. But
Yeah, let's see.
all
right. So we're in
we
this
got
game state.
8 turns.
I guess
Who's
Ethan's.
gonna sucker out?
Yeah. I guess it's working out for Ethan in this way of like, you know, like he did get pretty unlucky there with missing those two Heat Waves. You're unlucky, right?
But it'd be pretty amazing for him to pull back after a double miss on a crucial turn.
Yeah, it just comes down to these plays.
Yeah.
There's not really anything lost in Griffin clicking Sucker Punch for the most part, right? He's got so many turns to get it right, whereas like Ethan has so little turns to get it right with
Yeah.
like just like attacking, you know. Griffin's still got all 8 power points on Sucker Punch to spare.
And
And then getting
he
it.
gets it.
All right, so that was definitely an interesting game. I gotta say, it was pretty good execution on Griffin's part of how he got up Trick Room and got a KO on Landorus, but the turns after were pretty awkward.
Yeah.
It makes you think, like, should he have Terra Watered beforehand to not take as much from Bleak Wind? I feel like that kind
That's
of mattered,
true,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, kind of mattered. And what else was he gonna Terra there, right?
That's
That's
a
the
good
answer.
point. Yeah,
That's a good
and
point.
you'll
That's a
take
good
a lot
point.
less because +1 special defense, and you
Removing the
don't take the
weakness.
protective end. Wow.
Yeah. So I like that game plan from Griffin. I guess you could just adjust to be like, you know what, I'm taking less damage this time.
Yeah.
And then even so, like, maybe you call the Landorus protecting and just Ivy cudgel the Tornadoes, right? There's so many extra avenues for making a play here. If you were Ethan, what would you do?
Well, the threat of Trick Room is always there. Let me see. Griffin's Trick Room setters
It's just indeed.
is just Ndidi. Maybe a Chi-Yu right off the bat. It is
Yeah.
really scary because we know that this Ogrepon's pretty threatening. It outspeeds both Chi-Yu and Landorus normally.
Yeah, so that's a bit worrisome, right?
But that isn't all bad because that means in Trick Room, Ethan's team won't just get run over. He can position and try to pick off switch in like that Ursaluna did.
Yeah, definitely crazy. I do notice that Ethan's also got a Wellspring of his own. So, like, maybe in this kind of weird fashion, he, like, supports his Chi-Yu against the opposing Ogre Pawn with his own Ogre Pawn, right? And just water absorb the Ivy Cudgel. That would also be, like, pretty good in terms of, like, stalling the Trick Room turns, right? Because
very true.
that doesn't force knockouts, that just absorbs damage. And if Griffin's willing to click Trick Room turn 1, he's not going to get any value out of that, right?
And then once Trick Room falls apart, it's looks pretty good for
Yeah.
for Ethan's team just to clean up at the end.
Tornadoes was in the back, just ready to take charge of things, right? All right, so
All right,
jumping
I'm
right into
excited.
it.
All right, double genie again. Do we see the double ladies? We do not. Switch up. Maybe like seeing the speed tiers change Griffin's mind, and then maybe he might not bring the NDD at all, since there's not much priority on the Ethan's team.
Yeah, it's mostly just, right,
one
Trick
sucker
Room, huh?
punch right there. So
I could also see this like, okay, so we're seeing the Terra Water. I dig this because like that will allow him to pump out damage into all the right spots.
Yeah.
It looks like he's calling Landorus protecting.
and
Here's
it's,
my other thought too.
it's really hard for Ethan to remove this Ogre Pawn if it does Terrastalize.
Yeah, and here's my thought, dude. Yeah, so Ogre Pawn would have been so much cooler if he was able to get up. Like if Ogre Pawn outsped everything in Trick Room, that would have
Yeah.
been even awesome, right? But right now, like Griffin's kind of forcing his hand and saying, "Hey, like you better click Tailwind, because if you don't, then my Ogre Pawn's gonna bonk you, and if you do, then Ndidi comes in, and now like I'm just gonna set up free, right? Like, and then everything gets under sped, right? And Ogre Pawn is now the fastest thing in
yes.
Trick Room. Yeah,
Yeah, Ogre Pawn's so good. Like, even when he can support his team with Follow Me to get almost guaranteed Trick Rooms. And it looks like he might have forced the Terra on the Landorus to try to take a little less damage from Ivy Cudgel.
yes. Oh, we're seeing the Terra Poison. You gotta wonder if this is gonna be a Sludge Bomb coming in. He's like, perhaps Ogre Pawn will stay a grass type and eat this Sludge Bomb for me. We're seeing Sunny Day, so
pretty
you know that's a
smart.
pretty good like
Weakening-
alternative in between play. Not commit to the tail end, but also want to protect your partners, right? We're seeing the Ivy Cudgel come out into this Tornadoes, take it down to about half. I
Big
wouldn't be
damage.
surprised if that was a 3 knockout. Sandspear Storm doing. Honestly, it does a lot to Ogre Pawn. That's some pretty intense damage. Wicked Blow just removing Tornadoes for free. So I actually kind of like this too. The way that Griffin has put this out is that he now is in control of this Landorus's fate when it comes down to Ogre Pawn, because Ogre Pawn can outspeed Landorus. Granted, Landorus outspeeds Urshifu, so it's a little bit scary.
But it
there.
also does threaten with Sucker Punch.
Yes.
But the sun is protecting Landorus.
Yeah, this is an interesting board state. I mean, Griffin definitely has the command because of the speed, but like, I'd be wondering like, what's he gonna do with it, right?
Urshifu.
Yeah.
Which one is it?
The opposing Urshifu could totally just do like a quick pick off
Yeah,
on the
they're both
opposing
single
Urshifu.
strike. So
You know,
do you wager a sucker punch? We did see.
it does have Indeedee in the back. Oh, we're seeing the
critical
horn leash
hit.
come in. Nice. If you're anybody, you're always hoping for that, right? So Urshifu taking a bit of damage. Sandseer Storm cleaning up. And you
Oh.
gotta imagine that this Wicked Blow is going to head straight into Ogre.
Agreed. It's it was pretty hard in this position for Griffin because he couldn't protect his Ogre Pawn
Yeah.
in front of this Urshifu. Because I was thinking maybe if he had Indeedee in the back, a Follow Me Trick Room with maybe a Ursaluna to clean up would be really good. But this bear that ignores protects is pretty
Yeah.
hard to play against.
It's a bit worrisome. So I wonder how Griffin could take this back if possible.
But
I mean-
now
There's like,
we don't know. I assume Indeedee will go down to a Wicked Blow, but if you do Wicked Blow, you are not hitting Ursaluna, and then Earthquake might just KO both of these Pokemon.
yeah, substitute though.
Oh, he does not have Earthquake.
Yeah, I know. Earthquake would have been really
Oh.
cool. Perhaps Ethan doesn't know that for some
Oh.
reason. Like makes a certain play, but like
It's hard, like, because you just assume these Pokemon have what they have when you're in the heat of the game, but you don't
Yeah.
take the time to look through the team sheets.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, I think Griffin's gonna need to hope that his Indeedee could like maybe set up a trick room for this Ursaluna, and Ursaluna could hopefully like somehow not take a whole lot of damage here. But it's awkward, like you said, because
Yeah.
the attacks from Urshifu can just power through. Seeing the Earth Power just gonna connect with Wicked Blow in conjunction. So
Smart double with the
just take it out, remove it from play entirely.
no threat of Trick Room at all.
Yeah. So what looked like a kind of strong start for Griffin quickly slipped out of place because I guess it was predicated on could Griffin take out the knockouts that he needed, and he couldn't. It was hard for him to follow up after.
Yeah, I think that the
first
Sunny
food
Day
to
really
field.
put a wrench in Griffin's plan, I think, just because how much it weakens the Ivy Cudgels.
Yeah, there's no more Oko potential, right?
Yeah.
I did like the amount of damage that the Terra was able to mitigate from the Landorus, but it didn't come into play. Like, it would have been really cool for Griffin if Ethan had clicked Tailwind, but Sunny Day was something that we didn't consider either. Now it is just Ursaluna against the world. Provided Ethan maybe attacks himself here, he can still pull this out, but we're seeing the Dark Pulse just delete Ursaluna. So now we're going to a game 3.
Game 3. And I think even with the double miss in game 1, Ethan still brought it really close. So it looks like it's a pretty uphill matchup for Griffin. Especially that Urshifu single strike seems to put in a lot of work against Griffin's team. We have not seen the Iron Crown yet. With
Yeah.
the Tachyon color maybe able to pick up a KO against Urshifu before he can do all that work, but
It's a little hard to justify when you're staring down Chi-Yu.
Chi-Yu and Fluttermane, which
Fluttermane doesn't
Oh,
have
yeah, that's true.
Shadow Ball, but like you want to tear the crown so then it can withstand some of the damage that's coming through from like the Urshifu. But then at the same time, you're now risking this like fate of like, oh, now Chi-Yu can just or no, now I'm like a water type. I'm spent my terror there as opposed to like on the Ogre Pawn, which even though he didn't win game 2, like we could see that like maybe that's the call, right? Just being able to take that amount of damage. Does he go back to the Follow Me plus Trick Room play? That could be it, right?
yeah. So in these type of series, I would assume Ethan, he stuck with the same leads both times. So if I was Griffin, I'd be planning for
Yeah.
a game plan where he does lead those two, since it seems pretty strong.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Granted, we thought Ethan would lead Chi-Yu game 2 to cover for the Indeedee. I think that's why Griffin
Yeah,
switched,
but he
right?
did switch it up.
Yeah.
In
Speaking
the
of
game
switches,
3. So now
Griffin's going back to tried and true, right? And Ethan to switch it up to Fluttermane and Urshifu. This Fluttermane has Booster Energy, it's Moonblast, Icy Wind, Dazzling Gleam, Terra Fairy, so it is a terror to see if you're on the receiving end of those fairy moves. But that's nothing that Ogre Pawn can't get rid
But
of
this
with
actually
the plus
looks
special defense.
pretty decent for Griffin.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think so.
yeah.
Wow.
You get a lot of value here. He can Follow Me Trick Room. He could Yeah, maybe that's his only
That's-
play. Like, it's kind of hard to
that's a
want to
pretty
just
good-
like IV
yeah.
cudgel something right off the bat right here, right? Oh, but maybe he will. He's going for Terra Fire. Perhaps he is thinking my Indeedee could definitely take the Fluttermane attacks with the Urshifu. It's not like Fluttermane has Shadow Ball anyway, so like if Indeedee could survive, that could be so clutch because that could allow this Ogerpon to get off a meaty IV cudgel into either slot. Yeah. So Griffin's thinking about it. He's like, do I do it? Do I
Does
just
he do?
Yeah, this is tough if you're Griffin, but I kind of like it, right? He's hedging his bets. He's thinking like, this guy has to go all in on my on the damage right now, and I think Indeedee can stand up to it. We're seeing the Urshifu go for Terra Dark here, so yeah, terrifying,
This
right?
is scary.
Yeah. Indeedee
Can
take
either
it?
of these Pokemon hang on? Hang on.
Yeah, it's a little worrisome, right? And we're seeing the responding Terra, the Terra Fire. So all of this is in Indeedee's hands now. If Indeedee goes down, then not only has Griffin lost his way to sub Trick Room, but he's also lost his Terra. So he's banking on a lot here with this play. Okay, we're seeing the
Oh,
Icy Wind,
interesting.
which, you know what that signals? I think that Ethan was trying to
get
Icy
the
Wind this
Ogre
Ogre
Pond,
Pond, right? Yeah. But this is actually insane. Ethan's luck is just, again, not paying off for him in the slightest because
We
his
gotta
Ivy
see
Cudgel
how much
comes in.
damage this.
Bonks it. That's good damage.
Blow
I would take
does.
that. Oh, the Wicked Blow
dang.
is confirmed in the Ogre Pond, and it
survives.
lives. It survives. That is
Raccoon is
insane.
up, and now we did see how much Dazzling Gleam did in the first game. It's looking pretty scary for Urshifu, I think.
I think it was at -1, but I'd assume like that's something you could
Oh,
probably
yeah,
get,
yeah.
right? Yeah, I think it was at -1 in the previous game, but
Well, actually, then it might actually not KO.
yeah, it might not.
And
Might
then
not.
if Urshifu gets another attack off this game, it might be tough for
Yeah.
Griffin to come back. Actually,
You can see how pivotal that Icy Wind miss was, because you have to imagine Icy Wind would have done 8 damage, right?
yeah, and
like-
actually,
Do you think?
on the other hand, you'll get a free switch in under Trick Room.
True. I get, yeah. So I guess we are in a little bit of awkward state, right? Where like
Yeah.
Ogre Pond's like, help me, Indeedee. Like, hey, this guy is gonna punch me.
Okay, it does
Oh,
not KO.
doesn't KO,
And then
doesn't KO.
Urshifu can attack.
Okay, we're seeing the Wicked Blow into the Ogre Pond, which I agree with. Like, Indeedee doesn't really output the most amount of offense as you want to expect, right? However, this could set him up for like this game where Griffin brings in his own Urshifu and then has like Indeedee pressuring the opposing Urshifu, and then
Yeah, it's so strong.
Urshifu taking
and
it. Yeah,
there it
see,
is.
There it is.
These
There it is.
bears.
Yep, bear on bear action.
Urshifu in Trick Room is just.
Does this Wicked Blow get the Fluttermane? I
Mm,
mean, after
it's-
a -1 Dazzling Gleam follow up, it's got to be like what, 80%? I don't know my calcs.
think it's hard to tell what these Fluttermanes are trained in. I think it will KO. But even if it doesn't, it's not the worst.
Sash
'cause
is
you
still
lose-
intact,
Use your
right?
Sash.
Yeah.
Oh,
She need a
Ethan
swish, so
says
Ethan is
save.
preserving it for the next time. Okay, we're seeing Ogre Pond come in, so any amount of chip on this little fella is something you'd like. Okay, so yeah, we're about
Okay,
80%.
another
Ooh, another
critical
crit.
hit.
Very nice, very nice. Okay, Wicked Blow just deleting Fluttermane. All right,
Okay.
so yeah, this is looking pretty precarious. If
It's
you're
looking
Ethan.
really scary for Ethan because I don't know what on his team can survive a helping hand Wicked Blow.
Yeah, at this point, everything's chipped. On top of it, like he could also be in the position where he could just kind of ignore Urshifu, and if he has 2v1 against Urshifu, he could win that. Right?
Yeah.
Urshifu could just tag it, and so can. Okay, so we're seeing the helping hand Wicked Blow being thought about here. This is pretty interesting, right? Like, I don't know if it's possible to KO the Landorus with it. I don't know my
Yeah,
calcs.
it's hard. I don't know either.
Yeah, they could definitely get rid of this Ogre Pond, right? I guess Ethan could do a cool play if you wanted, where he like sacks his own Urshifu, but you have to ask, like, is that what you really want to do here in the twisted dimensions?
All right, we're about to learn damage calculations. We do know Ethan's Landorus was a little slower. Oh, it is a 1 KO. Never doubt the bear, I suppose.
Oh my, yeah, that is insane damage. And the sash is still intact, so yeah, Cudgel, doesn't matter. Okay, so now the Psychic Terrain is still up.
Yeah, and Dazzling Gleam seems to
Just KO this
KO
Urshifu.
Urshifu.
Might be a wrap here, folks. Like, unless Ethan is somehow able to find a way to like get his ogre pawn to live the wicked blow and retaliate back, right? Like there is some realm of possibility there, but there's even a world where like I don't know.
Last turn of Trick Room.
Yeah, there's even a world where like, what if Ethan tries to like CC Griffin?
Ooh, this
Urshifu,
could
right?
be
like a speed tie kind of bit. If he doesn't go for the right moves here, right? Like you gotta maybe at this point Ethan has to hope that his opponent misplays.
Yeah,
That's my
yeah. I'm waiting on. Ooh, this is scary because we saw Ethan's Urshifu go first. Oh.
Yeah, man.
Oh,
Griffin
he
just
just
locked it.
knew.
He just knew, and I think that's gonna do it. Wow, that was phenomenal,
Wow.
right? Like, he didn't like, maybe he didn't have to, but like, you want to make sure that you can get rid of this open, right?
Because worst case, Ethan's Urshifu just close combats Griffin's Urshifu. No damage is done. Trick Room ends, and then I think both of Ethan's Pokemon fare well into Ursaluna.
Yeah, pretty wild stuff. Pretty good stuff for Griffin. What looked like a pretty good game one just came back again in game three, except it wasn't Ogre Pawn dodging heat waves and bonking foes this time. It was now something completely different. We're seeing Ethan with the Sucker Punch and then keep the close combat. So Griffin is moving on into finals against, I think,
One of the Smeargle players.
yeah, oh yeah, there are two of them. Yeah. As who? Okay, it's gonna be against
Okay.
Jonathan. So it's gonna be kind of
We
scary.
know our final
Our
top
final is.
two.
I gotta say, Griffin. I could see. I think it was that he was scared to cheat in game two, right? Like, because he brought the Urshifu. Game three, Chiyu was nowhere to be seen. Pretty interesting stuff. Huh?
But I think in this set, the Urshifus really put in all the work.
Yeah, the Urshifus,
The
plural.
Urshifus, the
Yeah.
Dark Urshifus.
Yeah, they
and
were. They
I
were
was
very
talking
pivotal.
to Griffin. I think that he wanted to play Jonathan if it came down to the finals because he
Ooh.
does not like playing against these single strike Urshifus.
It looks a little tricky to get around.
yeah,
We saw that, right? Okay, well, I think if there's anyone who knows best, it's Griffin. I kind of want to get in a short interview if that's possible.
I do too.
No,
Don't
it's
you
not
all?
possible. It is not possible.
Is
Unfortunately.
it possible to get a short interview with Griffin?
He unfortunately said no.
Okay.
Well, if he can win this next round, we'll reward him. But wraps a little bit of a break here is good.
Yeah.
All right,
All right.
Alvin. I've been Mitchell.
I've been
We'll see you in
Alvin.
just a bit.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the finals of our very first Regulation F tournament here in Northern California, in Sunnyvale, in the CardArt card shop. I'm once again on the mic with Mitchell here. My name is Zach. Alvin's gone, and we've got two phenomenal players in our finals, and they are underway in team preview right now. We've got Jonathan versus Griffin. We just saw Nailbiter, Griffin against Ethan earlier, and now Jonathan is here with more genies, more grass types, and everyone's favorite beagle.
Yeah, Smeargle is here to stay. It has Spore, and the only thing that can contend against it is a Terragrass Iron Moth and a Ogre Pond with the Follow Me. But like, you know,
And Ursaluna.
Okay. With the guts, yeah. But Smeargle can still do a lot, right? Like it's got Fake Out. It does have the Decorate, which is pretty scary. Like imagine you Tailwind and then you just, you're threatening Spore and you're like, yeah, sure, bring those mons in. I will just decorate my Tornadus and delete the grass types that are immune to Spore.
Big bleak wind storms,
this kind of team is really scary. In fact, kind of makes me think in the one before it with only single restricted, where there was like, towards like midway to like the end of it, there was like a Smeargle Tornadus Ogre Pond. It was Smeargle Tornadus, and then it was
Kinagawa's Smeargle Landorus, or Smeargle
the
Tornadus.
Turtle.
Huh?
Turtle?
Oh, that was a different, whatever.
Okay,
Let's jump into the game right now.
It's
We've got
tried true strategy.
There it is. Here's everyone's Tornado
it.
Smeargle. What could happen? Spore, Decorate, Bleak Wind, Tailwind, all the fun stuff. And against Iron Crown. And is that Indeedee on the field? I see Iron Crown activating that booster energy, boosting its special attack. Next to Ogre Pond, not Indeedee quite yet, a different Follow Me Pokemon.
Yeah, they cover each other so well, the Smeargle and Tornadus in this type of way, but there's only one problem. If Jonathan wants to get Decorates off, like the Decorates could be redirected into Ogre Pond if he clicks Follow Me. So like the Smeargle, it really just has Fake Out and Follow Me if it's out, Which honestly, that's not bad value. That allows Smeargle to take hits for Tornadus, but you gotta ask yourself, what offensive pressure is Jonathan putting out? Like in fact, maybe even Griffin is so comfortable here that Jonathan can't do anything that not clicking Follow Me is the play, and that's where Jonathan could capitalize. He could click Spore when he's least expecting it, right? Catch him with the proverbially, catch him with his pants down, so to speak.
Yeah, Ogre Pond is the pants, and Ogre Pond is leaving the field right now as Indeedee coming out onto the field. Griffin expecting Jonathan to not risk going for a Spore into a very obvious Follow Me, but of course Bleak Wind could preempt that and do a lot of damage. Indeedee will take very minimal damage from this Bleak Wind, as well as that Steel-type Iron Crown, as the Tornadus is actually going to be the one going for the Terastallization into that Steel typing to help take these expanding forces significantly better than it would otherwise.
Yeah. Fake Out seemed to be the gosh. Okay, that's one way to get rid of Smeargle too.
Never mind, Smeargle's gone.
I mean, Tailwind, like that, he's caught between a rock and a hard place, right? Like Jonathan, the only play that beats this one is like you either you Tailwind and then you Spore, and you have to know that this exact play is coming out. So it's pretty scary. A Bleak Wind Storm is cool, but you also don't want to Tailwind when you know the threat of Trick Room's there. So I think Griffin, from what I heard, he was pretty happy to play Jonathan in finals if it came down to it, and you kind of see why. But the tables may be turning with this Rillaboom's Grassy Surge. Yeah,
with Rillaboom now on the field, Indeedee is kind of caught, without much of it doesn't get its psychic terrain. It can still go for a Follow Me, but of course Fake Out pressure from Rillaboom does make that a little bit harder to go for. Iron Crown loves the expanding force in psychic terrain, but the psychic terrain is not here, so this kind of really encourages Griffin to switch that Indeedee out so that Jonathan actually gets some progress. And we see that Griffin doesn't have the greatest of switch-ins into a potential Woodhammer or big damage or U-turn into the Indeedee slot, which really wants to get off the field this turn. There's no Iron Moth, sadly, in the back.
Yeah, even a Bleak Wind Storm would do massive numbers to these Pokemon.
Yeah, so Griffin's going to burn some resources here, but might be worth it for the positional advantage a little bit later on now.
Yeah, it's all about the trades. And speaking of trades, there is a Fake Out on the field. So Jonathan was calling that Griffin would just stay in there and do nothing. I like this Tachyon Cutter into the Rillaboom because if Indeedee's coming back later, this might put it into expanding force range. Ogre Pond hangs on for dear life, just a sliver of health.
That's so much damage with that Bleak Wind Storm. And this is really, I feel like we've seen basically all day with Tornadus how strong it can be. Just throwing out these Bleak Wind Storms. There's so many Pokemon that are weak to flying type attacks between Urshifu and all the grass types that the resistances are really hard to come by. Iron Crown is a steel type, which it's hard to find really potent steel types here, and its Iron Crown is showing its worth here, KOing that Smeargle before it got to move, and the Tachyon Cutters are really chipping away at this Rillaboom, even with that Assault Vest just muscling through. And Ogerpon, not as useful now that it doesn't need to redirect any spores from that Smeargle, and so the most useful Pokemon to sort of switch out here. Now, with Indeedee switched out, it can now switch back onto the field, and Expanding Force is on the table.
Yeah, is coming back in. You gotta imagine that this Expanding Force is intended to get rid of the Rillaboom, but a timely Tailwind U-turn could vanquish that hope, right? It could knock out the Indeedee, Rillaboom could come back in. Maybe Jonathan is still back in it. But the U-turn comes off the Iron Crown, which honestly, like, this is okay too. Like, Griffin's been in the spot where it's like, oh, Indeedee is not really offering the most here, and I kind of wanted it gone. But Raging Bolt, you got to ask yourself, is this the mom that's going to get through everything? Is this a Calm Mindset?
No, this is the Photosynthesis Booster Energy set, boosting that special attack, but it's going to take a big Expanding Force on the switch in here. Yeah, it does 60+% to it, so Raging Bolt certainly within range of another one, but with these terrain-setting Pokemon, once they're in the back, they can come back in and set that terrain once again, so we can remove, if you're Jonathan, you can remove that psychic terrain so that now Rillaboom can have terrain control, and so now Indeedee maybe wants to switch out and then Ogerpon come in, so it's just this cycling war. But while this is all happening, Iron Crown is just dishing out damage, and Tornadus is not as much doing so.
Yeah, you have to wonder though, because the Photosynthesis has boosted this Thunderclap. What if Thunderclap could get Iron Crown? Ooh. He has to play this kind of positional game where he has to make sure he gets Indeedee in and off the field at just the right time.
Yeah, Indeedee goes for the Follow Me here to redirect any potential Thunderclap if there was a switch, but there's no switches at all, actually. It's just a Bleak Wind Storm. It will double connect onto Iron Crown and Indeedee, not the premium targets. And with the Psychic Seed burned, this double up will be enough to KO that Indeedee. And so now Jonathan has firmly won the terrain war, but at what cost here? The Tornadus, actually no Expanding Force on this turn, so the Tachyon Cutter goes into Tornadus, does a lot of damage, but not quite enough for a KO, and that means Tornadus is healthy enough to eat that Ogwav Berry, actually, and and heal quite a bit of health, basically bring back to where it was before that Tachyon Cutter. So I think that was a turn where, you know, if Griffin had gone for Expanding Force, the game is significantly more in his favor, but that looming Rillaboom in the back pressuring that option so much that Griffin didn't feel safe going for it, tried to call it out, and really falls a little bit behind here, and looking like it's going to be a pretty close finish as these health bars are dwindling ever closer to zero.
Yeah, that was exactly what you needed if you were Jonathan. You needed to make sure that you were calling it perfectly, right? Like, you have to get rid of Indeedee if that's going to stay in, and if not, you got to make sure you can, like if Indeedee switches out, you got to make sure you can land that play of, like, Thunderclap and switch in Rillaboom, but called it correctly. So pretty speedy Raging Bolt now, so it's pretty worrisome how Griffin's going to be able to stall this, right? Maybe you'll have to pull off a Joey or Ethan Paddington, like double and triple protect, respectively.
Yeah, we will see, but it will not start with a double protect from both of these Pokemon. The Bleak Wind Storm will come out and KO this Ogerpon. Doesn't get much mileage in this game. Could have maybe gone for a Follow Me, but doesn't really work when you just, if you assume Bleak Wind Storm connects, then Raging Bolt gets to go for another Thunderbolt and KO this Iron Crown. And so it is now up to Griffin's final Pokemon alongside this Iron Crown that's been here the whole time. And it will be the Focus Sash Dark Urshifu, which can certainly do the damage, but it needs the turns to do it. And I think there's one more turn of Tailwind left, so there's still the speed control in Jonathan's advantage. And of course, Bleak Wind Storm is pressuring that Urshifu so much, but Bleak Wind Storm can always miss.
Well, if no one got Griffin right now, Urshifu definitely got Griffin. Like, there is a world where, like, Urshifu could, like, somehow pull off this, like, magnificent game of, like, making sure it KOs everything it needs to, right?
It can, theoretically.
Yeah, it really could. Like, it comes down to Bleak Wind hitting, it comes down to, like, making sure he could get, like, Wicked Blow versus Sucker Punch calls, right? So it's not completely over, but the Psychic Train's kind of coming back to bite him here.
Right, Jonathan's probably like, oh, thank goodness Psychic Train's up. I don't have to worry about Sucker Punch. I don't have to play those mind games at all.
You have to wonder if he planned that, too.
Yeah, potentially. I wouldn't be shocked if he did, but it's going to be the time for Griffin to go for a Terastallization. Realizes, I need all the damage I can get to, I need 3 Wicked Blows to win this game, and I want to make sure that those can do the damage. The Bleak Wind Storm does a little bit less thanks to that loss of the fighting typing on that Urshifu, and the follow-up with the Thunderbolt, rather, into that Iron Crown will pick up that KO. And so now Urshifu has a lot of work to do, and it has only a little bit of health left to do it. It will be first the Wicked Blow into that Tornadus. So the Bleakwind Storm threat is now gone, but that means Rillaboom gets free entry back onto the field to fake out, to offer more fake out pressure. And now we've got a lot of priority moves on the table between Thunderclap and Grassy Glide and Sucker Punch.
Yeah, so time to put on our puzzle solving hats. What is the win condition for Griffin, if it exists? Like,
I mean, it's certainly protect right now, right? There's no reason for Jonathan not to just click fake out on this turn, and so this sort of the forced protect is nothing Jonathan can really capitalize with this. Even if there was a Calm Mind, it's not really relevant on this Raging Bolt at this point. And so there's just the detect as the Thunderbolt and fake out goes into that Rillaboom.
Yeah.
Or fake out and
I guess you just Wood Hammer and Thunderbolt, no? Like
yeah,
both
you
would
could
KO.
just double. Yeah, you could
Okay,
just double,
then.
just double attack, right? Urshifu can't KO both, and as long as you're attacking Urshifu with a move that will KO it, which I think Thunderbolt with the booster
Oh, yeah,
energy
I think so,
and
too.
Woodhammer would get there, then that should just clear up the board. There's a case for maybe Urshifu's bulky enough to survive a Woodhammer potentially, so maybe like a Sucker Punch into that slot can maybe pick up the Raging Bolt, and then if you survive the Woodhammer, maybe, but it looks like that's what Griffin is going to go for. So maybe this Rillaboom isn't quite as offensive, and this Urshifu is feeling like a big boy today, can take this big Woodhammer, but not to be. Woodhammer is just so strong in grassy terrain. Rillaboom's such a strong Pokemon. Neutral hit, that'll be curtains for Urshifu, and that will be game one going to Jonathan by quite a slim margin, but found it in the end with that great turn in the mid game.
Yeah, so much for having a new VGC puzzle to solve on Twitter, but
Yeah, not quite.
well, at least we got game 2 here. I feel like Griffin was in the driving seat for most of this game, and I think it just came down to like overextension, right? I don't know if it was necessarily correct that he needed to call a Rillaboom switching in there, but I don't know if it was that turn where things started to fall apart for him or not.
Yeah, I think the turn where Griffin went for that Tachyon cutter into a presumed Rillaboom switch-in, and then he basically did nothing into that Tornadus instead, because it just activated the Aguav Berry, which is an interesting item choice on this Tornadus. We haven't mentioned that.
Pretty cool.
Like it was very helpful in that end game, or in that game for that first game, and so
You have to wonder, sorry to say this, but like the Expanding Force, like if Rillaboom switches in, Expanding Force is single target, but it's still booster energy boosted.
Yeah, it's still
still random. Like
that you get to pick the target.
What?
Yeah, so he still could have picked like, I want to attack
In Psychic Terrain?
Yeah.
Doesn't it just pick both?
It hits both, but you still get to select the target in situations
turn
like that
into
where
both.
the
Okay,
Rillaboom would switch in. You'd still target the thing you want to hit with it, and so
you can tell that I'm not a filthy size fan player by my lack of knowledge in this realm.
Is that
I'm just kidding.
It's a cool play. It's a cool play. But yeah, so that's something. It's a very tricky interaction of like, do you think the Rillaboom's coming in? Like it's so obvious that like then they should play around it, then they shouldn't do it, and it's this very awkward mind game that happens when you have these teams based around getting Psychic Terrain up and clicking Expanding Force a lot. Is that Pokemon like Rillaboom just switching in and out with that Assault Vest? You saw how much Griffin prioritized getting damage on that Rillaboom, just willing to fire off Tachyon cutters into it, just to slowly chip it down into a range where he could get rid of it. It just happened a little bit. He was trying to get that KO on that turn, didn't quite get there, and so I don't know if he needs to necessarily adjust different Pokemon. I thought what he brought was perfectly reasonable. I think the Iron Crown being able to just KO the Smeargle is so nice. But we do see a little bit of an adjustment from Griffin saying, all right, I'm just going to get Urshifu out earlier so I have more turns to get more Wicked Blows off.
Yeah, the only problem here is Tailwind Spore.
Tailwind Spore.
Yeah, the Smeargle, like, I don't know if it was like absolutely. I mean, it just went down turn 1. It could have been Ogre Pond though in the lead. It could have accomplished something a little different, right? But maybe even just Smeargle being out here, like, threatens so much with that Spore. If Griffin is Spored, then that allows Jonathan to maintain board position, and you don't know how long that's going to last for. That could come back to really bite Griffin if he is able to, if he falls to a Spore. Right now, that's what's being threatened. If he wants to switch out, he's going to lose the booster energy on Crown, and he's going to lose offensive pressure, quite frankly.
Yeah, I mean, if the obvious play from Jonathan is just Tailwind and then Spore the Iron Crown, then Urshifu can just go to town with big attacks, with big Wicked Blows into either slot. though you really are on a timer. You really need to get rid of the Smeargle before it goes too crazy and gets too many spores off, and then, you know, Tornadus can do a lot of damage if you just let it sit on the field and you can't get rid of it, which is kind of what happened to Griffin in game 1, but that was without the worry of Spore. If things start falling asleep, then that's more turns to click more Bleak Wind Storms and get more chip damage and just slowly whittle away at these Pokemon that don't have much recovery. But we are seeing the Tailwind and Spore into the Urshifu on this turn, so that means Iron Crown will be able to go for a Tachyon Cutter if it so chooses, which it is, and gets rid of that Smeargle immediately. So Jonathan does get 1 Spore off. That's more than he got in game 1, but still loses the Smeargle for it.
Yeah, but now he's in Tailwind. Now he gets a free switch in. Now this Urshifu may be asleep an extra turn, and the Terror spent on it. Like, this could be just a lost resource for Griffin. And you have to think, like, you know, the Spore into Urshifu makes the most sense because that's the only thing that can really damage a Terror Steel Tornadus. So Smeargle, awesome, did its job. Now it's Raging Bolt's turn to finish up and clean up. But you know, these monsters still at full health. You have to wonder if Iron Crown falls to Thunderbolt plus Bleak Wind, but I'm sure it takes that.
It probably would survive narrowly, but, you know, booster special attack Raging Bolt does a lot of damage. And, you know, yeah, at this point it's like, all right, what Iron Crown is here, but what does it actually do? The one nice thing is that Raging Bolt has now consumed its booster energy, so it's inclined to stick around on the field, which means you don't have to worry about Rillaboom coming into either slot as much. It's most likely just to come from that Tornadus slot, which means that you're not getting hit by Bleak Wind Storm on that turn. So there's a little bit of things that Griffin can play around with, but despite Jonathan losing a Pokemon on turn 1, it feels like he's got a little bit more initiative moving forward.
Yeah, it really will come down to whether this Urshifu can wake up as well. And maybe even Jonathan could read this Protect and just double into Urshifu, just clear it off the field. Sure, it's asleep, but, like, you know, you don't just leave it there. It could wake up at any moment. We've seen the Bleak Wind come out and bring it to just below half, so if the Thunderbolt...
Yep, there's the Bleak Wind Storm and Thunderbolt. No wake up, and so that is Urshifu and the Terra down for the count in game 2 here. So what Griffin might have been thinking was a pretty nice matchup is now looking a little sour here. The problem is it's really hard to find the damage now into that Rillaboom, which is most certainly lurking in the back. Ndidi comes out to sort of prompt Rillaboom to come out of the field, like, you want to get rid of the Psychic Terrain, you're going to have to switch in and take some damage. But at the same time, Ndidi's going to burn that Psychic Seed, which is going to be really helpful for taking attacks from these special attackers. And Ogrevon Wellspring in the back is really not contributing much into this situation. If Rillaboom's in the back against Raging Bolt and Tornadus, like, what is Ogerpon doing here?
Yeah, not his favorite Pokemon to see at all. And you have to wonder, like, is he willing to just switch out Ndidi into Ogerpon? Because that could just be like Tornadus stays in and then just clicks Bleak Wind. I mean, Tornadus probably just stays in anyways. What is this? Oh, it just switches out. I was just curious of, like, what was going to happen to it anyways. It could even be the Bolt switching out, but we're seeing Rillaboom come in here now for the Tornadus.
Yep, so terrain has been ceded to Jonathan with that grassy terrain up on the field now. So Ndidi will be going for a Follow Me to redirect any attacks from this Raging Bolt, which it should be able to take pretty comfortably thanks to that Psychic Seed. It's still quite a lot of damage, but Iron Crown this time does go for the Expanding Force, learning from last time. Does a nice chunk to that Rillaboom, but nothing a little grassy terrain recovery can't help with, as we now have the turn of Grassy Terrain Recovery, and we're still now in a pretty sticky spot for Griffin. He's kind of where he was in game 1, except now he has fewer resources with which to switch out the Ndidi to get it back in to get Iron Crown online.
Yeah, this game is just, I don't know. It's really tough to come back now.
Yeah, it's slipping away from him. I think at this point where, you know, that Urshifu was the big damage dealer, and it just got nothing done at all. And Griffin really wanted it to be. He terrestrialized it just to do more damage.
Pretty gutsy call.
And got nothing, no value out of it. And
I think the most important thing is that Griffin gets enough damage on this Raging Bolt. But the problem is the grassy terrain, and the problem is that Iron Crown is just, quite frankly, kind of weak into it if it doesn't have that psychic terrain. We're seeing the Ndidi switch out to Ogerpon to hopefully give the damage control back at some point, and with Iron Crown protecting, it's certainly going to be at least the next turn. We're going to see if no, there's a U-turn here.
The U-turn is so free into the Ndidi slot. Where either way, you're like, I'm going to get great damage and save Rillaboom for later. It's just the perfect option here. where Tornadus comes back out into the field, doesn't have to worry much about what Iron Crown can do since it resists Psychic
And
and
yet
Steel.
another read with the Thunderbolt.
Yeah, Jonathan just saying, I don't care about Iron Crown. I can ignore it. It's not doing enough damage for me to worry about it all that much. And yeah, that is the final time Indeedee. This is now the final time Indeedee will be switching onto the field, and it will have Psychic Terrain.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll be for that long.
Yeah. These plays are predicated on like Griffin, like the penalty for Jonathan messing up any of those plays is pretty low, right? Like you think like, oh, don't you have to double the Iron Crown to make sure it doesn't fire off any damage? But like the whole time he's just thinking, what damage, right?
Yeah, it's like
Indeedee's not on the field, I could just mitigate it. I'm gonna do it again. What's gonna happen?
Yeah, any damage that he can put out with Iron Crown will be, definitely minimized by the grassy terrain recovery. And it's like, it's not getting a KO. It's not stopping the damage from happening in this turn. But Indeedee going to be helping Iron Crown reach for the damage we've been criticizing it for not having this entire set, as it does go for the Expanding Force. How much into that Raging Bolt? That's the damage. But I feel like we needed that a few turns earlier, as the Thunderbolt firing back with nearly as much power. And now that the train has firmly been won, the train war has been won by Jonathan, Griffin's still looking it's looking hard.
Yeah, it's looking very difficult. It's just a fake out in the crown and Thunderbolt the Indeedee. I mean, Indeedee lost its Psychic Seed, so surely it might live. I don't know. That's tough.
Do you even need to? Can you just Thunderbolt and U-turn the Indeedee? Like,
Just double it.
just get, like, it can't protect. Get pieces off the board. Simplify the game.
This is fair, but Crown could just take out the Bolt this turn.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, so you just fake that out, just Thunderbolt. Like, I don't know. There's a bunch of ways for Jonathan to get through this. He's just got so many resources. So I think it's possible for Griffin to claw back, but I think he needs to, like, basically get everything right and get all the value he can. And fake out onto the Iron Crown is not the greatest of starts.
Yeah, we're seeing the follow me here. So Griffin was saying, "Hey, I don't want you to hit the Crown. Please hit Indeedee instead." And we're seeing it be a Thunderbolt, surely. I saw Dazzling Gleam was maybe an option there, but like you gotta wonder if that could KO Raging Bolt, right? Just a little Indeedee, yeah, probably not.
Indeedee's Dazzling Gleam is always less damage than you would like, and at this point, there's no Psychic Terrain, so Rillaboom can just Grassy Glide. We just Grassy Glide Thunderbolt. Like, even if Iron Crown KOs Raging Bolt, then it still has to fight with the Rillaboom, and like
still got the Tornadus in the back.
There's still I think there's maybe no. I think Rillaboom's just doing too much damage to Iron Crown at this point. Where I think Rillaboom just kind of wins the game at this point, and I feel like part of the reason why I'm not as convinced about Iron Crown is, like, it doesn't help you against the biggest problems with Side Spam, which are like Incineroar and Rillaboom, and like what is Iron Crown
Incineroar.
Yeah, but like what is Iron Crown doing to this Rillaboom?
Yeah, I think Smeargle did play a good part here because it forced Griffin to like play a certain type of game in the first game, and then the game 2, like Griffin didn't play into it, and it's just now I'm punished. I got scored. Had Griffin not protected his Urshifu, we could have seen a completely different game. Granted, Jonathan did get up tail in that first turn, so like how you get rid of the Indeedee the turn after, that's kind of tough, right? You'll have to make a call, like, do I do it with my Iron Crown second turn? But we see Jonathan just finish it up here. Very well played.
Thunderclap, there you go.
Yeah, I guess Jonathan was able to figure out exactly what he needed in that matchup, because Griffin was saying that he was looking forward to playing this matchup.
Yeah, I was thinking it was going to be pretty nice. I still feel like the Ogerpon Wellspring just really did not contribute much. Like, I think it's theoretically nice in front of the Smeargle, where you can redirect away those spores, but the way that the game played out, like, Griffin can kind of force Smeargle to be less of an issue thanks to that Tachyon cutter.
Yes.
I feel like Iron Moth would have been really nice as a way to, like, just really punish Rillaboom for existing and hit that Tornadus for good damage and shrug off Bleak Wind Storms well enough where, like, Ogerpon really struggled to contribute much here. So I'm curious as to what the rationale behind Wellspring was, because Wellspring just feels so bad into Tornadus and Raging Bolt and Rillaboom. And like,
it didn't look too bad in the first game because
it just switched and took attacks. Like, it didn't even attack.
But it was necessary in the lead against Smeargle, right? Like, I think that's where it comes through, and that's where I was saying, like, just being able to pressure the Bleak Wind Storms is super important when you're playing a Smeargle team. So, like, I guess Smeargle requires them to bring grass types, and that's what we saw, right? You have to bring Ogerpon Wellspring, or else you get spored. And like, Griffin had in the back the second game, you know, and it wasn't the same amount of support that he could have offered previously.
Yeah, I'm wondering if like Ursaluna has any applications here where, you know, it can be spore immune after it gets burned by the flame orb. And you know, Facade just kind of hits everything. Probably, I mean, it doesn't hit the Tornadus if it Terra Steals, but then Headlong Rush does, and you can get around it that way. So I don't know. It's hard to like. That's the dream scenario, right? Ursaluna clicks Facade and everything gets KO'd, but Ursaluna takes a lot of damage from Rillaboom. It can take pretty good damage from the Raging Bolt and the Tornadus. So you have to probably get Trick Room up. And it's like, how do you get Trick Room up? You have to have DD. You have a free turn to do that. And it's not the most obvious or most straightforward path, but I think that could be a way where he could have found a little bit more damage. Because I feel like that was kind of the problem where Griffin just was struggling to find the damage. I think particularly as soon as Tornadus Terra Steeled.
Oh, that too.
And the Rillaboom just showed up. It was just like, where do we get the damage? Right.
I gotta give some good props to Jonathan though. He made all the correct plays he needed to. Right. He found the line, so to speak. The thread.
He threaded the
Steven
needle
Slayer
through
reference, but okay. Well, Zach, I really appreciate being here with you. You've always been a homie. You've helped me out through so much, but I feel like we might have to kick it off right now.
We need to
get Jonathan on.
Talk to Jonathan. Yes, we will talk to Jonathan to congratulate him on his cup win here today. We'll be back in just a brief moment to talk with Jonathan about his big win here today. So we will see you in just a moment.
Hello, everyone. I'm Mitchell. I am joined here with your winner of the CardArt cut, Jonathan.
Nice to see you guys.
So, we haven't had you on stream, so you want to do like a brief introduction about yourself, like maybe what got you into VGC? How about your Monterey run, right? Because I heard you went in.
Yeah, sure. So I'm Jonathan. I've been a fan of VGC forever. I remember watching US Nats back in 14 and 15 when I was in high school and thinking I'd love to come out and do it someday. And a couple years ago, after COVID, when locals started coming back, I came to my first local here, actually, at CardArt. And so I've been playing for about a couple years. I found a really good scene here in NorCal. The people here are awesome, and I think that's what's kept me playing the game for this long.
Awesome. I think you found a good friend group for what it's worth.
I think so.
I might be a little biased, though.
I think so, too. This guy right here is a pretty good friend to have in the scene.
Dude, I try, man. But I got to ask you, though, where is your state of origin? Philadelphia.
I grew up in Massachusetts, and then before I moved to the Bay Area, I lived in Philadelphia for about 5 years.
Okay.
So,
well,
yeah.
I had a question for you before maybe we analyze the games.
Sure.
What do you think separates you as a Pokemon player having been on the East Coast compared to the rest of us? Do you think anything does?
I would say No, I don't think so. I think there's like a perception that the East Coast like plays a little more balanced or plays a little more standard, and the West Coast perhaps plays a little more hyper offense or maybe even a little more whack, depending on how diplomatic you want to be. And I don't know if it's because I'm from the East Coast, because I didn't start playing seriously until recently. I guess when I first started playing, like I'd play the really standard balanced teams on ladder. I remember like the first team I ever loaded up was Chalk, and I would play on in-game ladder. So maybe that is like my true East Coaster.
That's just an East Coast type thing, yeah.
I have a little bit of a balance bro in me, a little bit of a balance berry, but
Okay. Balance berry, I like that.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you about that that set that we just watched with the teams. From what I understand, Griffin said he was happy to have to face you. Like the matchup, honestly, it did look like he had a lot of tools there, but the options you selected, like it looked like you made a few of the right calls in game 1, and then you made a lot of the right calls in game 2 with how the lead went. You want to tell me about how you're feeling about these 2 games?
Yeah, for sure. I think in general with Psy Spam, like you usually want Rillaboom in the back, and I think with my team in general, as you saw in my stream game, pretty indicative of my run throughout the day. A lot of Smeargle Tornadus on lead. It gives you a lot of options, especially Tailwind Spore stuff is really good and really counters a lot in the format. I think powering up your own Bleakwinds can be really good if they aren't pressuring you too much. And so I thought that might give me a lot of options, whether Griffin might want to go with the Trick Room mode or whether he wanted to do maybe like faster expanding force or even do something crazy with Iron Moth having the follow me. So I thought Smeargle gave me options into everything, and then I could not think of any mon that worked particularly well on lead other than Torn. So back to the well.
Yeah, I thought like I was like looking at Smeargle and I was like, there's like a really good threat here with Smeargle and Tornadus because Griffin's answers into Smeargle are the grass types, but then you have Tornadus with Bleakwind Storm. That's just like a super good pairing there. So like, what puts you on Smeargle? Like, is it in the same way as Jaywani? Because when I asked him, he said he likes the Moody Boost Chaos, and that's what he's always been gravitating to. Is that what makes you like Smeargle, or is it your love for Snoopy?
I mean, it could be all the above. I do love Snoopy more than most. I do love Smeargle, maybe too much, maybe more than most. But I've used Smeargle in the past, and I've really liked it. I think it just has a really strong kit. I've only used it in restricted formats. I used it on a Hard Trick Room team back in Reg G.
Okay.
And then I used it on a Cali Ice Koraidon team in Reg I. And I think that it gives you a lot of flexibility. It can turn bad matchups into 50-50s. It can give you the chance to make some calls. So I really liked it. This team was the Smeargle Torn here was inspired by Yuma Kinagawa's team that won Japan Nats, and he showed the strength of it there. And then, of course, I have to give credit to Bezod, who's the one who pointed out that might be good in this format.
Yeah, he's got a good eye for things, you may say.
He sure does.
So I had a couple of personal questions for you, if you don't mind. First of all,
questions.
I kind of missed out on what was so good about Culver's, just from a personal standpoint. Like, what's it to you?
What is Culver's to me? It's kind of like a fast food place, but it's like more than that. It's a little, it's a family. It's a place of being.
You're a family guy?
I'm a family guy. Yeah, I love Culver's. They have these concretes, which are extremely thick. I don't know if you could call them milkshakes. They're kind of like DQ Blizzards, but
okay, that is pretty thick.
It is just excellent food. Their butter burgers are awesome.
Okay. So it has a soft spot for you?
It does. When I, a couple of years ago, I did a road trip up to northern Wisconsin, and we stopped at Culver's on the way, and it was the perfect thing to be eating out in the middle of nowhere in Wisconsin.
Okay, I see. What would you miss about California, having been up here? If you were to, I don't know, just leave us forever or something, go off to the East Coast.
I mean this not to flatter you, but I do think that I would miss you guys in the scene. First and foremost, it's been, truly heartwarming to just become a part of this and see, there's old heads and new heads, and I think we formed, a really good community out here. And I don't know, I was just on the East Coast. It was really cold too, so I'd probably miss the weather as well. I can't lie.
So not In-N-Out.
I am not a big In-N-Out fan. I like it as much as the next guy.
Okay.
But I'm not necessarily living and dying by In-N-Out.
Okay, I see. Second to last question. If you like coleslaw, what is your perfect formula for coleslaw? Because I feel like you love it so much, you probably have like I wanted to know this. I wanted to know your best coleslaw experience and your worst coleslaw experience. Where like you order the coleslaw and you're like, this is not coleslaw. Like
Yeah.
what are they doing in the kitchen? Get out.
I've seen a lot of things. I actually had some really bad coleslaw at Vegas. And you know what? A bad coleslaw is still pretty good coleslaw. So
Okay.
But it was. I think there needs to be sort of the right balance. There's two categories, right? There's like mayo-based coleslaw and there's like vinegar-based coleslaw. And I think the one I had in Vegas was trying to be both, and it accomplished neither. I think that the best coleslaw, this is a more generic experience, would be a nice, mayo-y but not too mayo-y coleslaw at a barbecue, July 4th. You have it with your burger.
Okay.
You're by the ocean.
There's a lot of imagery here. I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
I hope I'm painting a picture.
Okay. Almost last question.
Okay.
You inspired me to start like doing some runs in the morning. I was down to talk to you about them because I got some shin splints, bro. Like my shins hurt.
Yeah.
But you inspired me. I'm wondering who inspired you, whether it be like in Pokemon or in your life. Do you have any like role model that you've looked up to?
Yeah, I have a lot of role models. I think in general, I look up to most of my friends. I think all my friends are cool. Yeah, I know you're talking about running. I guess for running specifically, like when I was growing up, my dad ran a few marathons, and so we have this picture where I'm like 4 years old, and my dad had just finished the New York City Marathon, and so it had always been something that I thought like maybe I would do. And then when I was in college, my dad, my college roommate, and I ran the Providence Half Marathon as a team of three, the three of us. I see. And so he's somebody I've looked up to as somebody who has pushed himself. Having run a marathon now as, a work-from-home software engineer, I'm like, how the hell was he doing this with 3 kids and a full-time job in office? I have no idea how people do that. So
it's crazy.
I had the easy way, but
I mean, you still had the work from home job, so like you had half the struggle.
Maybe.
Okay, my last question to you was if you had any shout-outs. Any final words?
Yeah, definitely shout out the peak. Shout out Yuma for the really cool stuff on the torn smear goal. Yeah, I think those are the 2 big ones I want to give.
Cool. Well, it's been a pleasure having you. This has been Jonathan. I've been Mitchell. We'll have to see you tomorrow around 12 p.m. And this is Zach. We'll see you around 12 p.m. We're not going to be in Sunnyvale, like the South San Jose area. Well, not South San Jose. South Bay area, San Jose. We're going to be up on the east side a little bit in Newark. So take care, everyone.